if I do.
Covino and Rich.
Are you ready? Honestly, how do I deal with you every day?
Get ready.
Heard all about on the radio.
Get ready.
Whoa! Yeah!
Holy mother nugget! And holy mother meatball! Can't stop the hustle.
I'm the smartest man alive!
You're so ridiculous.
What?
You're such a fool.
Get out of here.
No, I'm a disc jockey.
What's a disc jockey?
Turn it up. We're doing the show.
Here we go. Covino and Rich.
Let's go!
Oh, yeah. Day 2 of CNR on Patreon with our brand new intro song performed by handsome Gabe. So damn handsome. Sports, entertainment, and life. Same show, different platform. Our debut show yesterday, Rich. I watched it back because I'm so damn full of myself. I thought it was fantastic. Of course you see it?
Yeah, no, I mean, I lived it. As Pee Wee Herman, your hero, once said, I don't need to watch it. I lived it.
I
No,
mean,
no,
I wanted to make sure everything went well, and it did. Better than I could have expected, thanks to your support. And like always, we be rocking out. Let's go! All right.
Oh, my God.
Now, here on this platform,
By the way, let's hear it for the YouTube bot.
let's hear it for the YouTube.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's hear for the YouTube bot because, wow, day 1 flagged for Wolf Mother Dimension. So, handsome Gabe coming through in the clutch, making an alternate version.
Let me tell you, by the way, switching to the flex cam. I need like a sound effect.
Are you ever going to wear clothes?
No. Let me tell you, I hit up handsome Gabe because I knew he could do this. And he turned this around so quickly. That guy is so talented.
So talented.
That
In
guy's
fact,
so talented.
He's so talented. We might play an original song, an original parody done by him and Sherry, one of our listeners, later on. Welcome to Covino and Rich. Sports, ass cheeks, entertainment, relationships, life. Whatever's on our mind, we're going to discuss. It's as real as it gets. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. We need you to tell friends about the show. We're here. The number still works, 412, the letter CNR show if you want to chime in. There's all sorts of new ways, 412-267-7469. But I got to tell you, Rich, we're starting our new journey on probably one of the weakest weeks of news ever. Like,
There's
that's the
nothing.
truth. There's nothing. Biggest news is we've moved on, and that's not saying a whole lot. Yeah, I can tell you what's trending real quick before we dive into like real stuff, just to show you there's nothing going on.
Is it the flex
cam?
Yeah, the flex cam.
The biggest news I saw was Joe Exotic saying that he's going to let the cat out of the bag tomorrow, and there's big news. So what does that mean?
What cat? The cat in the hat, because he's banned. That's
big
like
cat?
the biggest news in the story.
The big cat?
Biggest news story in the news is that Dr. Seuss books, including and To Think I Saw That on Mulberry Street and If I Ran the Zoo, are going to stop being published because of racist and insensitive sort of content. Dr. Seuss, bro. Yet we're dancing around to Cardi B's Wet Ass Puseta. Give me a break. Look, I'm all for moving forward. I'm all for progression and evolving and being a better person. Dr. Seuss, forgotta he. Make a rhyme up with that.
Dr. Cardi B. She's got the answers. Dr. Seuss is celebrated still in schools, though. I know that, was it this week? Or there was like Dr. Seuss week in schools. I think today a lot of kids are celebrating Dr. Seuss Day.
No, when I heard this, I was like, Dr. Seuss week? Because, okay, maybe something may be a little off color from today's eyes and ears, but Dr. Seuss? How sensitive can you be? How can you be so on the path of righteousness and evolving, right, and sensitive to certain things, but you're willing to spread your butt cheeks on BonelyFans and OnlyFans, and you're willing to dance around to Ariana Grande talking about her coochie? Like, it makes no sense.
You're confusing two completely different issues.
The world makes no sense.
No, I'm saying you're talking about sexuality versus
as far as sensitivity,
race relations. I mean how do you compare the two?
It's Dr. Seuss, bro. I gotta see what they're talking about. I've read these books as kids, and again, things are different from today's standards. But I mean, it's still Dr. Seuss. How bad could it be?
I mean, You're not that versed on the Seuss, are you, to think that
Not
you
that
know
versed on
all
the
the,
Seuss.
all the books?
I know from McGilligan's Pool to fucking Horton Hears a Who to Horton Hatches an Egg. I read them all, bro. I could read it with my eyes shut. In fact, I could read them all with my eyes shut. And that's a book that your mom never read to you. Look, man, I get it. We got to evolve.
Yo, you said your mama can't read.
I can read those with my eyes shut. I got a book about me. You don't even know what that is. Dr. Seuss's book about me. This is geared for little kids' eyes and ears. So even if it's a little off color, like old school cartoons are, right? I'll acknowledge that for sure. How could you not? It's still Dr. Seuss. I mean, it can't be that bad. We see and hear worse things everywhere else.
Hold on. Hold up.
Yeah.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Maybe not for kids. I don't know.
Don't fall for the dumb headline, and let me explain.
Yeah, I haven't read it yet. I'm just telling you it's trending.
You mean the ones I see in the video right now?
Yeah.
Oh, Rich bringing the headlines.
Let me explain.
Wait, is this a new segment? Headlines with Rich?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm aggravated already today with you.
I wasn't the one who showed up late.
There's no time. There's no late anymore. You're your own boss.
No, sorry. People expect. Was it? It's not promptness. What's the word I'm looking for? Promptness. Right at 8. They want you right at 8/11.
We were out at 8 minutes and 30 seconds.
Not good enough.
All right. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Dickie from the block. No, don't be fooled by the headlines, because much like the Muppet Show, right? The Muppet Show is airing. They just throw a little warning in the beginning where it's like, hey, if you're going to watch a Muppet Show, it's a little dated with language and culture. No one's saying you can't read Dr. Seuss. No one's saying there's no Dr. Seuss Day for kids. People are just saying that they're no longer publishing fresh new copies of some of these, only a few of the books. That's all.
Yeah, but isn't that corny? And I'll tell you why. Yes, we got to evolve. Yes, we need to progress. Yes, we need to be aware of these things, right? I get all that. There's a reason that we don't see the Little Rascals anymore.
There's new books. There's new authors. I mean, Dr. Seuss has a million books. You just named
classics.
6.
There's still classics, man.
The ones you named, I did not care about.
I mean, but other people do. Just you didn't know any of the other ones I was talking about. Not one. They're all famous. The only
I know
one
Green Eggs and Ham and the Lorax. Green Eggs and Ham and the Lorax.
The Lorax,
That's it.
because the movie came out in the past 15 years. That's the only reason you know that. All right, so I know them all. So that hurts my feelings because I'm a big Dr. Seuss fan. In fact, my favorite author, him, and Honoré de Balzac. I don't know if you know that guy. He was big in the 1700s France.
Yeah.
Honor de Balzac, you know that guy? Really great author.
No, they've banned his work. I'm very disappointed.
Honor de Balzac.
I'm just saying, whatever it is, and I'm not going to fall for false headlines. It says they're stopping the publishing because of racist remarks and insensitivity. Cancel culture's the hashtag here. Randy Orton responds to Soulja Boy calling WWE fake. I mean, it is. It is.
I mean,
it takes a high level of athleticism for sure, but it's still fake.
I mean, all right, look at it this way. I'm going to show you a picture. See, that's the fun of this now. We're streaming online every day, not only audio, video with our new show. Just got a text message from Mauser, your favorite guy in the world. He said, look at this picture, and you can understand why someone would say maybe just culturally not appropriate anymore.
Let's see it. I'm reading the headlines, bro. Just to tell you, there's not a whole lot going on.
I mean, is that appropriate?
I don't see you, Rich. I'm sorry. Spots adjusting
sorry.
Single shots and 2 shots. I mean, should they ban the 5 Chinese brothers? That's a Caldecott medal winner.
I mean,
you know what? I don't think Asian people care about that. Maybe they do. I think it's everyone else with their buttholes clenched. Again, case by case. I'm reading headlines. Let's see.
I'm saying you're not Asian.
I'm saying the 5 Chinese brothers was one of my favorite books growing up. And I'm not Chinese, but everyone thought I was, so I can identify.
Yo, there may be Asian people that are like, yo, I'm not cool with this. I mean, come on.
See, but I look at it different. You know,
but it doesn't matter how you look at it.
I'm saying put that guy in a sombrero, right? I'm saying there's
That's wrong.
It's wrong in today's world. I get it, but I'm saying, hey, there's my culture being honored a little bit. Cool. All right. Awesome.
Whoa, come on. You think if there was 5 Mexican dudes in sombreros and they're being like sort of made fun of, you think that's honoring your culture?
Honore de ballsack. Yeah. You fucking nerd sounding guy. Anyway, politics, read across America's trending. Not a whole lot of anything. Give white men a chance is trending. Give white men a chance.
I'm not going to argue because, frankly, I don't care that much. I'm not the one that's offended. But if you think that this is a compliment to Asian people, you're on drugs. Like, that's not honoring Asian people.
I am not. Look, there's an ultra-sensitive movement going on to stop the Asian hating and the violence against Asians. So I get why they're doing this, for sure. I get that. I'm not stupid. I'm just saying our eyes and ears are okay with one thing, but they're so offended with others. You know, it's just really odd sometimes. You know, my stance isn't against, hey, Asians, toughen up. And,
no,
so don't
agree.
make it that way.
I agree with what you're saying in regards to.
But you could have all the cartoons with Mexicans sleeping under a cactus. That's okay.
That's not going to be okay either.
It's okay to play Slowpoke Rodriguez. You know what? It is for me. Sorry. I like Slowpoke Rodriguez. I'm going to buy a T-shirt with Slowpoke Rodriguez.
You think Speedy Gonzalez and Slowpoke Rodriguez are an honor to the Mexican culture?
It's not an honor. It's called a joke. It's funny. And sometimes those stereotypes are not positive. I get that. But are we really hurt by them, or are we just really being overly cautious?
Well, I mean,
it depends. It's case by case.
I am not offended. I'm just explaining how I could see where someone Asian or of a culture that is being poked fun at would be like, yeah, I don't think I'm cool with that anymore.
Well, I'll tell you, like I said, the 5 Chinese brothers was a Caldecott medal winner. Get it off the shelves. Be consistent. Be consistent with the arguments is all I'm asking for. Let's be consistent. If we're evolving and everyone's the same now and all cultures are the same and there's no differences, get it all off. Burn them. Let's go.
Also keep in mind, buddy boy, it's 2 different subjects too. People being very open sexually.
You're making it about 2 different subjects. I'm making it about sensitive. Right?
You said people are okay showing their butthole on OnlyFans, but they're offended by Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, I'm making it about offensive.
Buttholes.
And offended. You know, really losing sleep over that?
Who, me?
Anyone.
I'm losing sleep over none of that shit. I'm losing sleep over our lives. I'm not losing.
You know what? That's really it. You hit it on the head without even fucking thinking about it.
Yeah.
People need to get a life and worry about it. That's what I think.
Get a life, dudes.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm just trying to tell you that when that's the number one story, keep in mind my perspective here. When that's the number one story, it's a slow news day, a slow news week. And thank you again for being here. Entertainment, sports, life. You're going to get uncensored opinions, real opinions. That's what we do. I'm all about moving on and moving forward. Don't get it twisted. I'm just saying we need to stay consistent.
Agreed. Yes. I agree with you. I think they're handling it the right way. It's just the headlines are making it more salacious, right? The Muppet Show. They didn't take it off of HBO. What did they do? In the beginning, they did a little like, hey, this shit might be outdated. Proceed with caution, Muppets. They're saying Dr. Seuss.
To protect their own ass.
Yeah, but
Are
Dr.
you offended
Seuss is
by
not
any
being...
of that? Is anyone really offended? This fake outrage. Who's offended by that, man? Who's offended by the Muppets? Your kids? You think kids are like, Dad, there's something wrong with this one? There's no fucking kid complaining about that. It's fake outrage they're protecting themselves from. Be honest. Case by case by case. The Muppets? If it's that bad, they wouldn't play it. The Muppets. Look, the Muppets. The Muppet Show, it's not half bad. It's all bad.
Sarah?
I see what you did there.
You like that?
I like that.
Emmy was watching some cartoon the other day. Sarah, come here a second.
Dude, Kermit the Frog sang the Rainbow Connection. Everybody knows that's about gay love, right?
What?
What was the
it's not.
What was the thing? What was the thing yesterday? That we watched with Emmy where the cartoon characters were calling each other fat and stuff.
Oh no, it was this YouTube video, and it was the Gingerbread Man song.
Oh, you mean Fat Albert? Get him off TV.
Some like stinky and like.
Oh no, yeah, some cartoon that Sarah and I were watching. The one character is like, Yeah, get out of here. You're stinky and fat. And I started laughing, but Sarah and I were like, yo, that's not going to last. I mean, a kid's cartoon when we were kids. You're right. Fat Albert. The fucking guy's name was Fat Albert.
So what?
That would
Take
not
him off.
fly.
He's the leader of the Junkyard Gang. He was the coolest guy. You guys got You guys look at things from a protect my ass perspective all the time.
Well, honestly, Covino, it was something to the effect of like, yeah, don't play with that other kid or whatever or animal. It was a
Can't catch me, you're fat.
yeah. Oh, the gingerbread man said you can't catch me because you're fat.
Maybe he was. Hey, you know what? I'm looking a little chubby. Own up to it. I'm about 5 pounds overweight. I'll admit it.
5 pounds.
So thank you guys for being here. 412 the letters CNR show. It's case by case, guys. I agree. Case by case. We all need to be better people. That's not my argument. I'm saying it's a slow news day when Dr. Seuss is the biggest villain.
Oh wait, Sarah found it right away. You got it? Yeah.
When
bring it over here.
When
Here.
Dr. Seuss is part of the cancel culture, like, give me a break.
Hold on 1 second. Let me make it big so people can see it. Let's see.
Could you want to like.
The road ran the gingerbread man, with the old man and the lady running behind him. A cow sitting beside the road saw the gingerbread man and said,
You look so tasty. I want to eat you.
Sounds like Rich.
Lady and old man cannot catch me. See if you can catch me, you fat thing.
What?
You cheeky fellow. Just you wait till I catch you.
That's a little bold, but I like it.
Yeah, we were like, all right, you fat thing, you can't catch me.
Jeez, Rich.
Come on, man.
You can turn it off now, Sarah.
Teaches you life lessons. Life lessons. Remember Lampwick and Pinocchio? Lampwick was like, hey, Pinocchio, let's go rob some shit. Let's go smack some people around. What do you say? Steal the money, Pinocchio. Let's go. Let's do some drugs, some smack.
And
let's have
much
some
like
Four
you
Locos.
said,
Come on, Pinocchio.
much like you said yesterday, Covino, Pinocchio was way cooler when he was a wooden boy.
Way cooler. Turned into a little lame-o. So, look, let's not lose focus. What I'm saying is, if Dr. Seuss is the #1 story on Twitter right now, and we need to cancel this guy, man, we got nothing else to talk about, and you need other things on your plate of life, because that's the last shit on my mind, and I'm a dad.
Covino, it's I just don't want to be victims of what we make fun of. Meaning, you know how a lot of times you'll say, is it really a story? Or did someone just print it? No one's really offended. And the headline is misleading. It's not really a big deal. Like Dr. Seuss is not being taken away. They're not canceling Dr. Seuss Day at School. In fact, we just signed Emmy up for her new preschool. And the teacher was like, oh, we're really bummed that Emmy's not starting until April or May because she's going to miss Dr. Seuss week. We have a lot of fun with it. Little kids are still doing Dr. Seuss stuff. They're just not producing a few old school books that are mildly racist, right?
I'm going to make my own book about you for kids called The Goon on the Moon. You like that spot? The Goon on the Moon. I'm going to write it, publish it with today's standards in mind. Because the only people you can make fun of today are white guys like you. So
you know what? Good thing I'm a good sport, huh?
Thank goodness for this show. Thank goodness. Because that's our favorite thing to do.
Well, if you're going to talk about Dr. Seuss.
No, I'm not.
I'm
telling you what's the #1 story in the news proving that there ain't shit going on in the world, which could be a good thing. You know, we're just chilling right now. We're in chill mode. I could dig it.
Speaking of Dr. Seuss and cancel culture and fake stories, is it real or not? Another one that was got people all riled up, not Aunt Jemima, not some other shit people got mad about for no reason. Being that your girlfriend's from Idaho and you always say that you have a sweet potato in your pants.
I do.
Did you see the story about the fake story and the fake rage about Mr. Potato Head not being called Mr. anymore? It's just Potato Head. And the reality was it's simply just rebranding the brand as Potato Head. And there's still Mr. Potato Head, Mrs. Potato Head. But the story was a fake leading you to believe wrong shit, right?
Yeah, but why are they changing it? Just rebranding?
All right. Because the brand was always called Mr. Potato Head.
He's my guy. I love Mr. Potato Head.
Okay. But they also have Mrs. Potato Head and other characters. So the brand is just now called Potato Head.
Okay.
But they still have Mr. Potato Head, Mrs. Potato Head. They did a slight brand adjustment, and people are like, what are they doing?
Potato
Like,
Head.
are you fucking that worried about Mr. Potato Head? When was the last time you gave a fuck?
Did every little kid try to put on his yellow glasses and make them fit on his head and the lips and the mustache? I know I did. I'm a potato head at heart. So anyway, I digest. I'm just telling you again where the stories are at. They're very slow. So yesterday, after our first ever show, we went through all the feedback. What's crazy about today's sort of radio media with doing this platform is that you get feedback from so many different places in life. You don't know where to start. We have a live chat going on. We have a Discord page. We have the Carl's page on Facebook, Covino Rich listeners. We got our text messages, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat feedback. You name it, we got feedback everywhere. And it's impossible to get back to everybody, but we're doing our darndest.
You know what I did realize, too? There's a lot of people that reached out to us that had never reached out before, and it was really refreshing. Like, I feel like we got so much feedback from people that said, "Yo, I've been with you guys like over a decade, and I've never reached out to you once, and here I am." That's a great feeling.
You know what though, Rich? I'm expecting, although I appreciate that, I knew that was out there. I'm expecting more of it.
Yeah,
I am. I really am, because that makes more sense. I'm a radio fan so much that I focused my career on radio, and I never participated in any radio event or movement or contest or anything like that growing up. So if my favorite radio show was going somewhere else, I would probably check out where they are, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be all involved the way we're so fortunate other people are, you know?
Jerry O hit us up. I'm going to read some of the feedback text message.
And
Fat
I'll
Albert
read
got banned,
I'll
not
read the
because he
live
was
chat.
fat. What?
I'll read the live chat.
Fat Albert got banned because its creator drugged people, not because he was morbidly obese. Let's be honest. Is he a real fucking doctor? How about Mr. Seuss? Is he a doctor?
Really? Like, we're really going to, like, hold him to that? Is Dr. Dre a doctor?
It's like when Bill Nye the Science Guy, people love to immediately be like, he's not even a scientist.
You guys are missing the great lessons. You're worried about Albert being fat. He's going to sing a song for you. Remember, Spot?
Yeah.
And it's going to show you a thing or two. Let's join the fun now with me and all the gang. Learning from each other. That's why we do our thing. Nah, nah, nah. Gonna have a good time.
Oh, you're on your own.
Oh, man, what happened?
Nothing.
No one cares?
No, you're on your own. Sorry, bud.
See? That's why everyone's so offended. You didn't live the Fat Albert life. I did. So you're like, yeah, get rid of him. And his stupid red shirt. Get rid of him.
We all deserve slow news days after the last year of our lives. That's from Jonesy in Texas.
I agree with that. But that was the point I'm proving. I'm not going to fight over Dr. Seuss. I really don't give a shit.
Rich, what do you mean we're handling it correctly? I'm reading the text messages. 970. How are we handling this correctly?
You sound
Whatever
overboard.
happened to just changing the channel if you don't like something? Do we just cancel everything we don't like? It's easy to say until they come for you. I mean,
no, it's like you can't erase the past. You can make it better and you can make changes. I'm not against that. But it's like my daughter's history class, you know? They stopped sugarcoating it and they went really full on in with about how slavery was and how we treated the Indians and so on and so forth. We don't make the same mistakes twice, but you can't pretend like that shit never happened.
By the way, Covino, I agree with Doug from 404 saying, white guys get dumb white dad on every sitcom.
Yeah.
Every white dad's a dumb white dad.
Because you've allowed it. Blame yourself. Because you're also the guy petitioning, like, we need to protect everybody else. But forget about us. Make fun of us instead, guys. You like human punching bags. You did it to yourself.
I'm
so
offended
glad.
by
I'm so
nothing.
glad I'm down the middle. I've never been more happy in my life to be split down the middle like a nice set of butt cheeks.
I'm offended by nothing. All I'm saying is that the reality is,
look at any commercial. Look at any commercial, dude. The punchline is the goofy white dad. Any sitcom, Goofy white dad, because you no longer can make fun of anyone else because everyone's so scared to have fun at anyone else's expense. No one's saying be rude or be insensitive, but a joke you can only make fun of Rich. You can only make fun of guys that look like my dad. You can only make fun of guys that are full-on white. It's the only safe route. And I'm talking about in fun. I'm not talking about in a negative way.
Both Obama and Donald Trump hailed Dr. Seuss as being great. Now they're going to cancel him. Like, everyone agrees Dr. Seuss is great. I think they're just saying, again, what was it? I wish I could remember the
it's people
story.
looking for headlines, dude.
It happened last week or the week before. I'm trying to remember what it was, where we fell for a headline that wasn't a real story.
Well, it's a real story. I'm not making it up.
No. But
They're
I'm saying, like, for instance, like the Dr. Seuss
books.
thing. Is it a real story? Because the reality is
It's the number one trending story in the news right now.
all right.
Okay, but don't say it's not real because it's discrediting what I'm reading straight up off of the news.
I'm just saying, it's not a real story in the fact that they're not banning Dr. Seuss. They're not canceling Dr. Seuss Days for Kids. The Lorax is still on television. They're still doing it. It's just that there's a few books of his monstrous collection that they're saying, yeah, we're not going to print new copies of them. That happens all the time, Covino. Books don't have new editions printed. That's just sort of normal. Maybe they change the artwork of the Asian people to look less like not with two buck teeth with a fucking silly hat on. I mean, maybe they do that and they re-release the book. I don't know. What do you want me to say?
Did that guy have buck teeth? I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Did it? I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I remember. I like that book. So yeah, read it.
Well, not the guy I showed you, but that's like every, the depiction of like Asian people in like old cartoons.
I know. That's a little more insensitive, right? You don't want to be I like the kick-ass Asian guy. That guy. I like the leading man Asian guy who gets the girl. That's who I like.
Man.
It's Covino and Rich. Don't get it twisted. I'm just saying there's not a whole lot in the news. After the show yesterday, went through all the feedback, and then I got on the phone with, a bunch of different people who were just interested in Covino and Rich. The gates are open. We had lots of meetings, lots of phone calls. On the phone with lawyers, miserables, bro. I'm on the phone with lawyers because of my new pay scale, right? How do you figure that out? We talked about that yesterday.
How's that working out for you?
How do you figure out child support when you're now on a subscription-based salary, on a commission-based sort of salary? Like, how do I handle this? How do I protect myself? Because I'm still working on Sirius XM Turbo, but I am getting paid in meatballs. How do I divvy that up? Took a nice walk. I got all excited, Rich, for two reasons. You want to know why?
Yeah, I do, but I'm wondering. That never dawned on me. Not you, obviously. Yeah. I know what you're going through, but it never dawned on me how many men are in a commission-based sales type of job where how do they calculate their child support or their alimony or whatever? It's like, listen, when you're a salaried employee,
you get real concerned when it's about you, right? So you do a quick Google search and they say, well, they take an average of the past, say, 3 years and they figure it out and they agree upon something. The past 3 years, I was killing it. So if you expect me to pay based on what I was making the past 3 years on what I'm making now, Stevie's going to have to move out of his house. So, I hope that's not the case. They're telling me to just give them some sort of estimate, based on proper numbers of what it might be moving forward, and we're going to try to figure something out. But I got to protect myself, too.
If they expect you to pay what you're paying the last couple of years, make room under that make room under the 101 by those tents.
Also make some IOUs. I'm going to make some posted IOUs while we speak. So I got off the phone with the lawyers, and I'm like, geez, but you know what happens when you deal with lawyers? You have to pay retainers. We're talking big money just to protect yourself.
By the way, when you're talking to your lawyer, are you sort of always thinking like they're charging you for time? So you're like, all right, come on, come on now, come on.
Yeah, of course. These are major problems with the world and in life. How men get fucked in the A.
Whoa.
Seriously. And we're worried about stupid Dr. Seuss riddles. fake outrages. I'm not saying don't worry about being better people. I'm not saying that.
You're saying there's bigger fish to fry.
Of course, there's a lot of bigger issues out there involving Asians. That doesn't make it better. And minorities. Maybe it's a start, but let's get to the real shit. Then I realized, I got a massive headache, and I'm not a guy that complains about headaches ever. In fact, people that complain about headaches bother me, right? Because I don't really get them.
You can't sympathize. You're like migraine. Who cares? What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Take an Advil.
All right. I'll be totally honest, Rich. I'm so insensitive when it comes to people and their migraines. I'm like, really, Jordan? You got a migraine? Here, I'll rub your head. You good now? Cool.
Migraines are debilitating.
I know.
Migraines are the worst.
I know, but I don't get them, so I really don't care that much. But I'm like, yeah, okay. Hey, can we to watch something? You good? So I'm getting a headache because I'm so frustrated with all the things going on. My head's spinning. At the same time, we got feedback nonstop of people saying they love the show, which means a lot. But then I realized, it's Monday. I get to watch The Bachelor.
Oh,
sweet. Now, life's pathetic when I'm excited about that. I'll be honest. And then Jordan goes, look, I know you've had a long day, so I'm going to give you. I'm like, yes. I'm going to give you, yes.
Keep going.
Uh-huh. And she goes, a guilt-free drink tonight. And I'll make it for you. What do you want? And I'm like, not what I expected.
I thought that was going somewhere way more fun.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, so did I. But
whatever. Guilt-free drink, sweet, thanks.
Yeah, I don't want to offend anybody, so. Listen, so I have to be honest. That did make me happy because there is some sort of guilt that I have if it's a Monday or any weekday and I dip into the liquor cabinet. Like there's some you're a piece of shit that I feel when I'm opening the cabinet and it's not a Friday night or a Saturday night.
Really? Talk to my wife.
No, for real. Because she's like, guilt-free drink, you deserve it. And I'm like, you know what? I do. So I'm like, I could watch The Bachelor, have a drink. I'm going to make something out of this Monday night. And I did. And this is where my story's going.
Okay.
Oh, it's going somewhere?
No, I'm just letting you know that The Bachelor was boring as shit. And it proves that I need drama, I need conflict, and I need fighting to make me excited. And I'll tell you why. Here's what's happening. I'm not saying it's good or bad. This is for you to decide. I'm telling you what's happening with the world. Okay?
Let me guess.
Yeah.
Let me guess.
All right.
On your Bachelor show, he's narrowed it down to a few reasonable women, which makes it sort of boring. And there's no drama. There's no obstacles. There's no woman that's causing drama, which means it's now it's just, this dude likes two women. Who cares?
That was last week, Rich. And you're hitting the nail on the head because I was like, this ain't fun. This down to 4 women, and they're all sort of just hanging. And they're all nervous about this. Now, I'm new to the Bachelor world. That's always the story. It seems to be every season, right? When it narrows down, it's not as exciting. But yesterday was something called Women Tell All. So I'm like, oh, yeah, women, catfights. Yeah, this would be great. Right?
What the fuck was that?
No, because that's what it's Women Tell All, right? This is where fireworks. This would be great.
You're a cat, Steve. You're a cat.
Fucking meow. Look, bro, I need distractions. My life's falling apart in reality. So, and at the same time, we're getting so much support, and I'm so stoked about that. That excites me a lot. But look, this is a distraction, and that's all I need right now. So, Rich, I'll wrap it up, and I'll give it to you.
Whoa!
What I've noticed,
thanks.
what I mean by that is a guilt-free cocktail, a guilt-free drink. So, what I've noticed now, and I knew it, and I was trying to figure it out with Jordan last night as to why I'm bored by this, and I think I got it. I'm watching the Women Tell All. Now, keep in mind, Chris Harrison is sort of under fire. Him and Dr. Seuss, the most evil men on the planet. Right? Chris Harrison's sort of under fire.
The definition, by the way, of villain has changed quite a bit.
So The Bachelor now starts with some sort of disclaimer, like this was taped back in February because, we got to watch our corporate asses with this Chris Harrison villain. So Chris Harrison's sort of under fire. These shows are sort of taped already. So producers now have the creative ability to make edits and create a plot that sort of suits them, right? A dynamic that sort of suits today. A narrative that everyone's going to be okay with. Chris Harrison's under fire. Everyone's super sensitive. No one wants to offend anybody. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's my theory. Yes, we're probably headed. In fact, let's say yes, we are headed in the right direction. And you want to be on the right side of history. I do. But on the downside, because with every action comes an equal and opposite reaction, by trying to be so safe all the time and by trying not to upset anybody or shame anybody or make anyone look bad, you walk around on eggshells and you lose all the fun. You lose all the fun, and now you're losing all the conflict, which makes it fun. So what I think is happening is, people are saying, why are you trying to portray us like mean girls? Why are you trying to portray us like women that can't fight? Why are you trying to portray us like this person is going against that person, and this girl of this ethnicity is going against this ethnicity? So they try to edit it now or cut it now where everyone is the get-along gang, and that conflict and what made it fun just isn't there. So when women tell all and you're expecting cat fights, they come to quick resolutions. We're like, yeah, I know I called you a slut, but I'm really sorry. and now she feels like, well, I can't be on the wrong side of history and be mean to her now. So I accept your apology. Coming up next. Yeah. And then that's it.
In fact, I probably did something to make you think that. So let's resolve this right now. And it's bullshit.
Bam. The biggest story this season, Rich, was some girl thought one of the other girls was an escort, right?
Oh.
So she tells all the other girls, I think she's an escort. Now, this is a life-altering sort of rumor that she started because it's national television, right? This is major conflict. You told everyone I was an escort? Basically a prostitute on national TV? So the world thinks the first thing you do when you Google my name is that I'm an escort. Yeah, thanks to you.
Hooker.
This is major conflict, right? The girl's like, I realized that I was lashing out and that I was self-projecting because I am insecure. So I'm sorry. And I'm sorry, right? The girl's like, well, I accept your apology and I'm really scared about how I'm portrayed as well. So let's all be friends.
Oh, who cares?
The get-along gang. So there's no
one
conflict.
wants that.
You lose. Look.
That shit.
So if it moves, we're headed in a better direction, and we lose a little conflict, which we used to deem as fun. I guess we're still winning in society. I'm just telling you that it provides for boring entertainment.
Yeah, it's not exciting.
It's not exciting, fun. And that's where shit is going. The world is walking on eggshells for the greater good, but we're losing some fun in the process.
You're gonna lose entertainment value. Now,
just telling you what I see. That's all. You could figure it out however you want. I'm telling you the truth.
We're approaching the 1-year anniversary of when the world shut down.
Oh my God, don't remind me.
One of the last events I went to, Covino, now looking back, you'd be jealous, but back then you didn't care since now you're a bachelor boy. Sarah and I got to sit in the audience of the After the Final Rose, and that was the last live event before the world shut down, right? And they orchestrate the drama on such a level. What's that reality show that spoofs The Bachelor that was pretty popular? You know what I'm talking about? It was like a reality show that made fun of The Bachelor, but it was like a drama.
I don't know that shit. I'm keeping it real. I don't know, man.
But that was not far off the mark. They planted someone next to me.
Was it unscripted?
Unscripted. It was that it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Covino, I went, for all the Bachelor fans, you'll remember, for the people that don't give a shit about The Bachelor, just follow along. It's not hard. Pete the Pilot was the guy. Remember Pete the Pilot? Handsome, nerdy white guy?
I remember Pete Zapai, the Italian dude.
Hey, it's a pizza pie.
I remember that guy, the Italian dude.
Pete the Pilot was the dude. Now, Pete the Pilot had narrowed it down to one girl. Remember, he changed his mind, and then he wanted the other girl, then he changed his mind. They planted a girl next to me in the crowd. They said, "You seem normal. Can we sit someone next to you?" They moved my seat, and they had this girl, Kelly, mic'd up. Mic and everything ready to go. She had a mic, a little pack, and everything. Now, they never went to her during the whole show. Because remember the mom, Pete's mom was like a real maniac, like saying how the girl wasn't good enough for her son.
Oh, yeah, I do actually, yeah.
I think they were going to go to the girl next to me because that's who he ended up dating next. So I think they have all these angles of drama and play off of them as the show goes on. And if it leads itself there, they'll do it. But you're right. With all the new ways people are thinking, all the drama of reality TV is going to go down the drain because no one's going to want to be the fun, controversial person. You know why? Because once the show's over, in their world, they'll be deemed the racist, the sexist, the bad person. So who's going to put themselves out there for 3 months of television and then they permanently have the stamp of asshole?
Right. Exactly.
It's like
or,
if you're the
God forbid, hold on. God forbid you have conflict with someone of a different ethnic background. Now you're the racist guy just because you don't like that guy's attitude.
Covino, let me like for instance, let's say they casted you on, I don't know, Big Brother, and all of a sudden Covino's in the house. And they're like, Covino, be your abrasive, opinionated, funny Jersey self. You go in the house. I don't know. You fight with some white guy. You got some beef with some black guy.
See, you say abrasive. I say, I don't know. I see things through a lens of reality. Like,
perfect. Go with that on the show. Go with that on the reality show. Perfect.
Are you serious? Sometimes that's what that's what I want to know. Really? Okay.
Spot. That's his cutaway. Go close shot on him when he's like, yeah. Abrasive? Do you mean like reality? And then they cut back to the main screen.
Which camera do I look at?
Right
yeah.
There.
Which one?
Over there, right there.
Racist? You mean, I don't know, reality? I do a little John Cena too.
So now you're the favorite. Everyone's like, oh, Covino, what a great villain on Big Brother.
Villain.
Then you re-enter society and everyone's like, there's Covino, the racist. And it's like, whoa, you mean because I was on a reality show for a couple months and had some conflict? Yeah, no one's going to want to do it.
I hate to be cliche, but assholes come in all different colors and sizes and creeds and shapes. And look, I don't know what you identify as, but I identify you as an asshole. How about that? And that doesn't matter who you're down with or what you do and look like. Everybody has the potential of being an asshole.
You said it, Buster.
Including myself. You
said it, buddy.
So again,
you're
this is what I'm noticing. I'm noticing that
you're a huge asshole.
What used to be fun conflict is something that networks just want to dance around now because they don't want to sort of be the platform that condones this sort of behavior. Therefore, we're all watching a bunch of people who are getting along, which is nice, I get, in reality, and that's what we want as a society. But like when you're watching TV and you're expecting women tell all, and they're all sort of like hanging out, having a good time. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
And basically what I'm saying, the highlight of my night was hearing from everybody that they enjoyed the show and my little cocktail fruit that I had last night on a Monday.
On the next season of Survivor, is that show still even on?
It could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, yeah, I think I found a bunch of berries in the forest, so I'll just share them with everyone because I don't want to appear selfish. You know, like,
yeah. Oh, by the way, and my brother hit me up yesterday, and he goes, yo, how many? He's just straight up like it's a weird today's filter where there is none when it comes to like certain things. He's like, yo, how much money did you make yesterday, yo? I'm like, chill, bro, none of your business. What? So you can tell the whole family? So you can tell everybody? Fuck out of here. And he's like, I'm like, I can't talk right now. I was like, what are you doing, yo? And he's like, calling me from his bed.
What?
Yeah. And he FaceTimes me, which I find intrusive.
Was he?
But he's my brother, so I don't mind.
Was he shirtless?
Yeah, he was.
What?
Yeah. He's like, he's there, like chilling, like half naked, like, yo, what's up? How much money did you make today, yo?
Yo, I bet you I made more than you, yo.
Yeah.
I'm making bank.
That's totally like
By the
something
way,
you'd say.
Spot's looking swole.
Yeah. Oh, Spot looks like for real, yo. Did someone steal the sleeves?
Yo, your brother totally knocked you down. He was probably like, yo, Spot's more swole than you, and I made more money than you, bro.
Yeah. I'm like, look, man. I'm like, yo, can I call you back? He's like, I guess. I'm like, I'm watching The Bachelor, dude. He's like, what? And I'm like, I'm watching The Bachelor, and I hung up on him, right?
That's lame, bro.
Yeah. So I hit him back after The Bachelor, and he goes, yo, for real, yo? Because he was serious. Like, this is like sincere, Tom. He's like, for real, yo? Like, it's mad whack that you're watching The Bachelor. Honestly, I can't respect that. And I'm like, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
I mean, he's
in fact,
he's not alone.
He wants to know when we're doing TUD or toilet talk, when we do some behind the velvet rope stuff, behind the scenes stuff here on Patreon after hours.
Wait, toilet talk. Are you gonna do it from your Toto?
Yes. So we'll keep you posted on that. But that was my Monday night. My brother's in Puerto Rico, actually, so I'm going to have some stories from that.
What the fuck is he doing in Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
Vacationing, yo?
Puerto Ricans.
It's like I'm in another country, yo.
Sweet Puerto Rican toilets? That's what he's doing.
It's like, this is like Puerto Rico. It's like a foreign land, yo.
He's like, what? I always like Puerto Rico, yo. I'm like, you've never been there.
Like the shining star.
Shining star.
Yeah, he's like, like Puerto Rico. Oh, like, yeah.
So that was my Monday, Rich. And again, it's not my rant about what's wrong with today. We're moving in a good direction. I'm just telling you what the opposite reaction is to the actions we take, and what I'm noticing in entertainment, and what I'm noticing when people are walking around like, "Hey man, I'm not shaming you. You're great. Ooh, yeah. Hey man, ooh."
Can we play a quick round of the match game?
Sure.
Do you have a pen and a paper in front of you?
Of course, always, man.
Do you think the match game is copyrighted material? Probably.
Maybe, but I don't think you could play it. You just can't play the theme, right? Spot, is that the rule?
Let me see if I can find royalty-free music. This is gonna be my
No,
new.
that's fine.
This is my new goal. My new goal is to accrue all this royalty-free music.
All right. So here's my question.
Clear your throat.
How long has Tommy been in his new apartment?
His closet?
About as long as I've been in my place. So November.
All right, November, December, January, February. 4 months. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Don't answer because I want you to write it down. I want to see how well we do. Spot, write it down as well. I have 2 questions. Question number 1. How many times has Tommy changed his bed sheets?
He's been there for how long?
4 months. How many times has Tommy changed his bed sheets in 4 months in his new apartment?
It's fucking gross thought.
Right, hold on. Ready? There, write down your answer.
Okay, I've
How many times?
Okay. Question 2.
Okay.
I'm not asking how many women he slept with, but how many women have laid in that bed in the last 4 months?
Okay.
How many women have write down your answer.
Well, the girl at the toilet, right?
Yeah,
Wait, hold on. Well, just write it down.
Girl
How
he's
many
with in
girls do you
Puerto
think have
Rico.
laid in Tommy's bed?
Okay, I'm gonna say.
I'm not saying he had sex with them. Just how many people laid in the bed?
Laid in the bed. Okay.
I'm going.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna say. Okay.
I mean, there's no way I'm going to get the answer right now. He's in Puerto Rico, so.
No, I'm just curious what you guys think.
I bet you
And we'll get the answer. We'll get the answer on one of our next shows. All right. How many times has he changed his sheets? What is your answer, Spot?
I said 3 times, Rich.
Man, you're giving him too much
I
credit.
said 3 times. 3.
He takes his laundry
3
home.
times.
He takes his laundry home to my mom, like every other week or so. So I'm saying twice in 4 months. That's my answer, which is grimy.
That's so gross.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say even worse. I'm going with 1 time. I think he had the original sheets he put on his bed, and I think he changed them after the holidays and hasn't changed them since.
It's possible.
What did Charles Nelson Riley say?
I don't know. What did he say?
He said 0.
You mean the original CNR?
Yeah.
Charles Nelson Riley?
How many women have been in Tommy's bed? My answer is 3. I think 3 women
that's
have
a good
been
one.
in that bed.
I'm going with 4.
Oh.
Because I can think of 2, and he probably had 2 he's not proud of. So
I went with 2.
2.
I just went with a base 2.
2 is a fact.
Yeah.
He's got the girl he's with in Puerto Rico, and the girl with the toilet with the Kohler. All right, so that's my story about Monday night. We are flooded with feedback. I
let's
wish
read
there
it,
was
man.
a way. We should come up with a way, right, Rich? That hits back or condenses all of your feedback into one thing. There's just too much and too many options, too many ways to communicate. Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. You know what, dude? We haven't even checked Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
Spot, why are you making it seem like?
Do you go to your
like
Twitter
it's easy?
inbox? Do you go to your Twitter inbox? Never.
I feel like Facebook and Instagram are like integrated at some point. But like,
Yeah, but Spot, what he's saying is that
our problem is that we have like 10 services
the
that
only
we're
people,
interacting with, like, and everyone like wants to use a different service. I know we should streamline.
That's what I'm saying.
But I feel like people, like, there's people in the chat right now. There's people on the Carl page. There's people texting us. It's just very hard to keep up with everything.
Yeah. By the way,
but I love it all. I want it all.
The next time your brother talks shit, Covino, people
Discord.
are saying,
Don't forget
tell
Discord.
him, coming from a dude that doesn't have a fucking window in his room.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But so far, so good. My brother moved the same time I moved. The only difference is he still has his job, and, we're sort of piecing ours together, which is great. Okay, so that was Monday. Sports, entertainment, life. We're going to experiment with some phone calls today, right? Maybe, Spot, if we have time. We have the abilities to take phone calls, guys. But we are getting tons of feedback the same way on our text message, 412-267-7469. Everything at Covino and Rich. We're relying on you to tell some friends now about the show. Subscribe a friend. Get them a $5 subscription, because that's something you guys could bond over. I'll tell you what. I'll be honest. I've never bonded more with my family and my brother than I have through the show and because of the show.
This show?
So if you have a cousin you've lost touch with, or a brother or an uncle or anybody, a college pal, a high school friend, you get them a $5 subscription, and now you got some shit to bullshit about. It helps.
I think
it
we're
helps
in a
me.
position. We're in a position where, if this continues to grow, and if everyone listening and watching us got one other person to jump on board, I think we're going to realize that maybe we didn't need anyone all along. Maybe on our own, we could fucking make this happen. So if every single person gets one other person, like, hey, the show I always talk about that I love? Why don't you fucking watch it and listen like I do? And if that happened, we'd be in a fucking golden situation.
Yo, if that happens, I could get on Cobra or whatever insurance thing is, and I could save my foot from falling off, because I got some sort of butt rash on my ankle.
What's the update?
I don't know. I'm here.
A cobra bit your foot? Wait, what happened?
No, you know what? I reached out to Dr. Tim and Dr. Jeff. Shout out to Dr. Ed, and shout out to my favorite doctor, Dr. Seuss. I reached out to them, and I showed them a picture of the butt rash on my ankle, as I showed you yesterday. If you missed it, catch it on demand on our Patreon. Yeah, it's gross. You know what the consensus sort of was? Yeah,
you're going to lose your foot?
It could be poison ivy or whatever. Could be. But I think it's eczema. And I'm like, eczema? How? Like, stress related. And I'm like, I feel like I've been more stressed out. But I'm fooling myself.
My kids, I know it's different, but for all the parents out there, did Melody have like kids eczema? Like
No.
my kids
I've seen it, though.
Both of my kids are fucking rashy little kids, where there's a point where Emmy it went away, but like Ben is always like, his skin is rough or he has a little rash. Like, that's like, you have like kids eczema on your fucking ankle.
It came to my attention yesterday that high stress related scenarios can cause that sort of thing, and obviously life is a little more stressful than ever for obvious reason. I thought I was doing pretty good, but maybe you bottle things up and things have a weird way of coming out. I still think it's poison something, but Dr. Jeff said it looks like, or it could be eczema too. So, I could get some sort of steroid cream and get rid of it or whatever. But my point was, if everybody gets a friend, if you tell a friend, we got a nice jump yesterday, man. I was really happy about that. If you tell a friend, you get a friend, get them a subscription. Hey, man, I can save my foot, and I can go to the doctor, and we can live this life.
Do you want Covino, everybody? Let me make this announcement.
My foot's looking like Mr. Deeds right now. Look,
it's
it's black.
Look,
it's black.
Do you want Steve Covino to have 2 feet?
Exactly.
If so,
yeah.
Subscribe, get a friend involved.
So, Rich, any other good feedback before we move on?
Yeah, I want to read it all here. Give me a second. Someone tell Covino that he doesn't have to identify the Covino and Rich Show. It's a podcast. People see it. People know it. Like, some of your old school radio isms aren't necessary.
That's not fair.
This is Steve Covino.
Guys,
there's not going to be any new people.
Subscribe now. Grab a friend. Tell them how great the show is. to save my foot. I think I have eczema. Could be a butt rash on my ankle. I don't know.
Rich, give us your heartfelt
But I
plea.
want to keep my foot. So if you tell a friend right now, you could save this little boy's life and his foot.
Rich, give a heartfelt testimony.
Now, while it would be cool to do a show with a man with one foot, I think we're better off saving Covino's foot. Tell a friend, like he said. Get someone involved. Share the bond of Covino and Rich with someone you love. Because no one wants a one-footed Mexican as a co-host.
Please get this nasty foot off my couch.
The Pirates would really buy into us, though. That was your plea spot?
Oh.
Please get this nasty foot. I didn't even realize that was your plea.
Loving the new Patreon look, guys. That's Jake hitting us up. Let's see. Men get fucked over in court all the time. My ex skirts the law and gets away with everything.
No,
that's from,
let's worry about Dr. Seuss books.
That's Miami. Let's see. Oh, they're saying that Dr. Seuss is way into propaganda. People digging into Dr. Seuss.
You know who says stuff like that? Assholes.
Well, I mean, hold on. You don't know.
I do.
By the way, Dave said it's such a slow news day that he's got news for us.
Oh,
he weighed himself before he took a shit, and he was 184.3. And then he took a shit, and he was 182.4. And he's like, yo, I took an almost 2-pound shit.
It's pretty dope.
That's the most massive shit I've ever heard of.
So, Dave, congratulations on Long Island.
Shit. Congratulations on your shit, Dave.
Nobody's canceling Dr. Seuss. Rich is right. That's from Jason. They're putting
it's the number one story that they're stopping the publishing of some of the classics because of these reasons. Not because it's fucking old. Not because, you know what, it's just not selling anymore. Because of those reasons, canceled Dr. Seuss is trending. I'm not making it up. I don't care if that's the real story. You know, I'm telling you what's trending, and that's the narrative. That's what people are saying. Think of it what you will, but don't imply that it's not happening because it is.
All right, Spot, can you look up the boiling frog theory? Someone says this all goes back to the boiling frog theory. This could be a joke or it could be like a real thing. So can you look up the boiling frog theory?
Yeah, let me look into that. The boiling frog theory.
While you look that up, I want to say that we're getting a ton of great feedback. I really do appreciate everyone saying what's up. Let's see. Steve, if you lose your foot, could I buy your bike?
Covino foot and Rich. Covino foot and Rich, according to Mark Zito.
Do the right thing. Save Covino's foot.
Yeah.
By the way, if you have a peg leg, man, how great would your sea shanty skills be?
Oh, Rich was whack, but he got some tail, because he played the hits. He sailed off on Long Island shore. He dreamed of seeing tits.
Okay.
For the monthly price of a cup of coffee, you can save a man's foot.
All right.
Thank you, 760. Thanks, Josh.
Here is Here is the boiling frog theory.
All right.
It's a frog being slowly boiled alive. The premise that if a frog is put suddenly into boiling water, it will jump out. But if the frog is in tepid water, which is then brought to a boil slowly, it will not perceive the danger and will be cooked to death. It's often used as a metaphor for inability or unwillingness of people to react or to be aware of a sinister threat that arises gradually rather than suddenly.
So what they're saying, Spot, is that people are slowly throwing these little cancel culture things at us slowly but surely. So we're the frog that's sitting in the water that's getting hotter.
Spicy.
And we're not realizing all the change that's happening. Is that what he's saying?
I believe so.
I don't know.
Sure.
Oh. I mean, that's how I interpret it.
I don't even know how this started. I just looked up the boiling frog theory.
Yeah.
Dying at the testimonies. That's from Jake. Let's see. You're Mr. Deeds without the money, Covino. Sorry, too soon.
Mr. Seeds.
Personally, peg leg Covino would really add to your struggles. That's from Austin.
His mate was quite a ladies' man with a rocking pompadour. Teamed up with Spot, thought he was Gabe, and lassies weren't sure. No hose, he got no hose. Reddish beard with his busted toes. No hose.
All right, we'll play that later. Sorry.
Spot, if Covino loses his foot, can you cook it in your crock pot as part of the original content?
That's disgusting.
That's the boiling foot, the crock pot foot theory.
I always wanted to save or adopt a little foreign kid. Sure, Covino, I'll tell a friend.
Yeah, that's the best story.
They must be Canadian.
When my dad did that and told me I was having a new brother and he was going to take my room. Remember that story?
Your dad did the whole like sponsor kid, but he put a picture on the fridge, right?
Yo, my dad was such an asshole to me growing up. I mean, I was showered with love, probably too much love, which is why they created this monster, right? Who thinks he's a special Boise. That's the problem with, telling everyone how great they are. They really start to believe that. And then world smacks them upside the head, and you got to be humble to reality. And I was, trust me. When I was a kid, I guess my dad wanted to, be that person to provide me with balance because my mom was too much. She was a smother. So my dad wanted to remind me that I wasn't that special. And one day I came home, and there was a picture of like this little like he looked like Indian to me, right? On the fridge. And where normally my artwork would be or a picture of me would be, and I'm like, who's that? And my dad goes, that's your new brother. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, your mom sponsored a child. I didn't know what that meant. This is the 80s, right? So sponsored a child. I go, what does that mean? Yeah, he's writing us letters and everything. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, and he's taking your room. And I'm like, what? What?
No!
I was devastated. I was like, this kid? Oh! I'm so upset.
You took his picture off the fridge, you're ripping.
Yeah,
you're like, fuck this little kid.
I still have the visual of this kid.
Is there
could have been my brother.
Is there a picture of the kid? Like, did they have a packet for this kid?
If this kid would have just wrote my parents more letters, he could be my brother today. But he didn't. They didn't live up to the program.
Fuck this little kid.
Yeah, I was so mad about it.
I hate him.
That was when the whole like sponsoring a child was a new thing, and my parents, they wanted to do nice things back then. Now they're bitter and grumpy, but back then they wanted to do nice things.
Hey, Covino, can you look into the camera and let everyone know that a foot is a terrible thing to waste?
Yes. Can I have music,
hold on.
please?
Let me pull up the music for you. Here we go. Ready? Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Wasn't ready.
Hey, I'm Steve Covino of the Covino and Rich Show.
Let me get in tight.
And I've come down with a butt rash on my ankle. So your support means the world. For just $5 a month, you could tell a friend and save a foot. Because my foot, it's a terrible thing to waste. Thanks.
Perfect.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
awesome.
It's hard to not smile.
And cut.
It's hard.
And cut. Okay, great. Got it.
It's hard.
Gold, baby. Gold.
It's
We'll
hard.
get him. Gold.
It's really hard to not smile. But thank you guys. Hey, Rich. I know we have
by the
tons
way,
of
Covino,
feedback.
I know earlier this year we lost, who passed away, the clock tower woman. We could have hired her to be like, save Covino's foot.
Save my foot. By telling a friend, I could go to the doctor and get it checked out. So thank you very much. Thank you guys for all the support. But
you know what?
But
Mark
do need you to tell a friend.
Mark Zito hit us up and he goes, on the bright side, maybe if you lose a foot, SiriusXM could hire you back for No Shoes Radio.
Is that a thing?
I think it's like the Jimmy Buffett channel.
Oh yeah, really? Okay.
No Shoes Radio, perfect. Makes sense.
All right. So thank you guys. Thank you for sponsoring a little half-breed Mexican boy. Appreciate it. Thank you for telling friends about it. That's the next step of this, so we can continue and doing the best show ever. Wait till the podcast world gets a load of us, a real show. And
save the clock tower.
Save my foot.
Save the clock tower.
Save my foot.
Mayor Wilson is sponsoring an initiative.
Mayor
to
Wilson's
replace
sponsoring
that
it.
I have a real question.
Is Goldie Wilson sponsoring your Save a Foot?
Yeah, replace that foot.
I have a question now, Rich. I'm giving you a perfect opportunity to jump in, so I'm double dutching it and jumping in with something else right now.
Oh, by the way, people are saying that the video stream adds such an element to our show. Now, Spot's ability to screen share, like if we're looking at something, they said their productivity at work is going to be terrible now because they're going to have to pay attention even more. So thanks, Ryan.
Oh, yeah, it's fun, man. I enjoyed it.
You're welcome.
You could see.
I thought you were about to do a shanty.
You could see some of the footage.
Oh, no.
At Covino and Rich. We're posting little snippets here and there of our Patreon show at Covino and Rich on Instagram. And last night, I did another episode of Los Lonely Fans. I did a little Instagram live from the house that Wyman built. the house that ESPN built from my new pad that I bought prematurely before I knew I was going to lose my job.
Oh,
so before I had any inkling whatsoever that we were going to lose our job.
Watch it and enjoy it. And,
Right, so
because you might never see it again.
I did my best of answering some questions and just like having fun yesterday, trying to stay interactive, putting myself out there a little more, Rich, for the greater good and trying to get, people everything they can for their money. Just trying to kill time to get to the weekend. Whatever makes – put it this way. What I did yesterday on Los Lonely Fans, which is Instagram at Covino and Rich, you could see it there, was better than The Bachelor last night.
I bet.
I thought
Without the drama, then what is The Bachelor, right?
I thought so. So I have a question to ask you.
Please do. And then I got to tell you about a major discovery that – I mean, I sort of knew, but I want to break it down.
Well, let's
and
do
I have,
that. I'll get to my question next. Go ahead. Tell me.
Okay. Now, major discovery I made last night, guys.
Major discovery?
Major discovery? It's a great How I Met Your Mother joke. I'm glad you're in on it. Now, by the way, if you're hobbling around on one foot, are you going to get more complaints from your HOA? Like some guys on one foot, like bouncing around up there?
That peg leg on that marble floor is really going to make a sound.
Now,
whoa, he saw no tits. He
All right,
walked with Piper and he picked up shits.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
So yesterday, I stopped at Cabela's on my drive home.
You should have went to Cabezas.
Yeah. Good one, bro.
Good one.
Yeah, bro. Cabezas because he's got a huge melon. Because he's got a huge melon.
Look at that thing.
I know, bro.
Oh, it's
They're
huge.
like, oh my
Yeah.
God.
Go on, bro. Go on.
All the Mexicans at the store start mopping and cleaning up because, yo, the boss is here. Like, who's that? They're like, the Cabezas.
Cabezas.
Oh, shit. Hey, welcome to Cabezas. Rich went there for a 20-gallon hat.
My father-in-law was there, so I picked him up. Whatever, irrelevant. They're selling Girl Scout cookies outside, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's the season to eat some Girl Scout cookies and feel shitty about yourself because who doesn't love Girl Scout cookies? Now, for me, not to go dummy fishing, but I think it's obvious the best ones are probably Samoas and Thin Mints, right?
Yeah. I agree with you.
Without question.
League leaders, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, there's other good ones. Tagalongs and the little what would you call them? The little not flatbreads, the little
shortbreads.
Shortbreads. Yeah, there's a lot of great ones.
The lemon ones are really good. And what are the chocolate covered ones with peanut butter on the inside? What are those? Are those tagalongs?
Hey, Rich, I want to know, did you go to Cabela's just to get the cookies or some sort of rifle to blow?
Good one, bro.
It was, though.
Oh, that was good.
Rich went in there with his camo outfit. And what are those things you call those rubber boots? Those rubber boots that you wear?
Like galoshes?
No, that people wear when they're going like duck hunting and shit. What are those things called? Those big. Rich went in there like he was like a rootin' tootin' Texas guy walking into Cabela's, but he was really going there for the Thin Mints.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, what are you here for? Oh, I'm not here. I'm just here because there's a Girl Scout cookie stand out front.
All right, here's what we got. We got our what are Toastiers?
Wait, hold on, Spot.
Thin Mints?
As you throw that down, I got Thin Mints right here in front of me. Here, go to me for a second. I want to show you something. Because I am so torn about how
many Thin Mints you should
regionally
eat in a sitting.
You know what I do, Spot? You know what I do, Rich? I take those Thin Mints and I eat them 2 or 3 at a time, make them some fat mints. I like them fat.
Let me tell you. I know
it's
many
fat.
people say putting them in the freezer is the go-to. I could get with that. I think Thin Mints in the freezer brings it to a whole new level. But here's the thing. You may know this and you may say, Rich, this is common fucking knowledge. But the Girl Scouts have 2 bakeries that make their cookies. And depending on where you live, you're provided your Girl Scout cookies by that bakery. Now, Spot, there's a map of the United States, and it shows color-coded which of the 2 bakeries provide your Thin Mints. In Texas, this is what Thin Mints look like.
What the fuck is that?
They have dots and ridges on them.
It's
and
like a McDonald's
look at the box.
cookie. It's like an old school McDonald's cookie.
That's a Thin Mint, which, by the way, is from a different bakery than the one that's in Los Angeles, New York, and New Jersey. I saw this and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
All right, so
this ain't a fucking Thin Mint.
So here are the two bakeries. ABC Bakers is the orange, and Little Brown Bakers is the green.
So if you see Spot, Los Angeles is in the green. Go up a little bit. See, Los Angeles is green.
Yeah.
And the Northeast, where we grew up, look, New York and New Jersey is green. So we are used to a different type of Thin Mint, right?
Yeah.
Now in Texas, see Austin, where I'm at right now? Orange.
Orange. Wait a second. Yeah, look right here. Thin Mints. Crunchier.
Aren't you used to the one on the right, Covino? It tastes different.
100%.
This is a Thin Mint.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I feel
the ingredients and the taste are different. The Girl Scouts have two providers, and depending on where you live. Now, Spot, don't scroll quite yet because I'm going to show you something else that blew my fucking mind. As I open my other box. Here we go. 1 second now.
Sorry.
All right. Look what I got in my hand, buddy boy.
I just fucked something up. Hang on.
Look what I have here now.
Let me go to you.
Girl Scout cookies were blowing minds. Rich was blowing 45s.
This, dude, what the fuck? What the fuck is a caramel delight? This is not a Samoa. It looks different and tastes different. If you go back to your chart right under Thin Mint's Spot, this is also different. I mean, they taste good, but I mean, this is not a Samoa.
Texans are deep throating caramel delights.
So yeah,
Rich is deep throating guns.
Yeah, the Samoa. Oh my God, they're so different.
Yeah, I didn't know, Rich.
The Thin Mints one blows my mind. I only know the chocolate on the right. The richer,
me too.
smoother.
Now
and that's all I want. I want chocolate. I want chocolate.
Now, Spot, scroll down one tick, because if you can see Thin Mints and is there a screenshot where you can put Thin Mints and there you go, right there, perfect.
Right there.
Can you get them both in?
Yeah.
I got the left column, the Thin Mint with the fucking dots and ridges, and I got the tag along where, in my mind, I thought I was getting Thin Mints and the fucking Samoas. So I guess it's like, good problems to have, but Texas has the wrong Girl Scout cookies.
I'm losing a foot, bro. I'm just saying. Let's
I got the wrong cookies, bro.
Guy's worried about his foot.
Hey, Rich. I'm serious question. Do you lose, although different, are you losing out on delicious flavorings?
They're not as good.
They're not.
I mean,
really?
It could be that you're just not used to it, but I know what a Samoa and a Thin Mint taste like.
Right, they're fantastic. Maybe, but maybe there's two better other options that we don't know about.
So now the tag along is good. It's close enough to the Samoa, but I'm telling you, these bunk Thin Mints with like the ridges on it are not. Yeah. They're not as good as the Thin Mints. They're not. They're just not. It's like a chocolate cookie.
Fuck those Thin Mints.
Ruffles have ridges, not my Thin Mints. So.
Yeah,
and Spot, real quick, because I'm sure people don't want to talk about Girl Scout cookies for an hour, but go back to that chart, and there's other ones too, because not everyone just loves those. But if you go back, every Girl Scout cookie has two names and two looks depending on where you live. So your whole life, you might be thinking to yourself, "Oh yeah, fucking tag-alongs." No.
All right, so we got.
You know what this is like, Rich? It's like when we were kids. And you had two of the same baseball cards, but one was Canadian, and it didn't say Donruss. It said Leaf on it. You're like, what the fuck?
S'mores are the same. Thin Mints the same. Caramel. Yeah, we know this one. This is a classic difference. Caramel Delights and Samoas.
Yeah.
These are the ones I love. Tagalongs.
They're called peanut butter patties around this part of town, Spot.
I love tagalongs. The chocolate and peanut butter.
Mind blown.
Do-si-dos versus peanut butter sandwiches.
Yeah, we don't have do-si-dos here in Texas.
You should have a do-si-do.
Trefoils. Trefoils.
Which just does the
versus
do-si-do
shortbread. By the way, weirdly enough, this is my niece's favorite cookie out of all the cookies she could have.
Shortbread?
She loves the shortbread cookie. Weird. These are fantastic. The Savannah Smiles. But they're lemonades. They're different.
That sounds like a porn star.
I know.
Savannah Smiles?
Yeah, Savannah Smiles loves...
I think I saw her blowing it
loves
last
DPs.
Night. Seriously.
Jeez.
I didn't know that was a cookie.
Oh, man.
So... just a little fun fact, though, of dropping knowledge on you. Now, Spot, I know you talked about different store brands where, like, on the East Coast, like, versus the West Coast, there's certain brands that look the exact same, but it's actually different names.
Yeah.
Like, you've talked about that with, like, condiments and shit, right?
Well, the biggest one is, mayonnaise. The biggest,
like Hellman's, right?
Hellman's and Best Foods. So, I think it's the Colorado River.
Flex Cam.
So, Flex Cam? Oh, sorry.
Flex Cam.
Sorry, I'm talking to you guys. So to the east of the Colorado River, it's Hellman's. And to the west of the Colorado River, it's Best Foods. And it's the same exact thing. And you know what I noticed? During the Super Bowl, when there were commercials, I think, actually, was it Amy Schumer was in the Hellman's commercial this year?
Mm-hmm.
It was a Best Foods commercial out here. I imagine everywhere else in the country, it was a Hellman's commercial.
Yeah.
But here it's Best Foods because that's what people know. It's not Hellman's. And that blew my mind. And that's the one big thing I noticed moving from east to west.
Hey, by the way, Spot, are people getting audio only right now?
They shouldn't be. Why?
Yeah.
No, I got like 2 people saying, actually just 1 now saying video was earlier, but now it's audio only. Or is that person just dumb?
Maybe they're watching the wrong feed.
Maybe they're watching the wrong feed. Yeah, they're probably watching the wrong feed.
Operator error, bro. That's a lot of the confusion. I'm sorry to call it out. You thought I was being offensive yesterday when I wasn't.
No, you weren't being offensive. You were being truthful, but people are generous enough to want to be part of this. So we can't be like, hey, dummy, operator error, when the reality is that's what it is, right?
I didn't say that. But anyway, mind blown. My mind is blown. I'm not going to lie. I didn't know.
You know why? Because last night after dinner.
Did you say this before? Didn't you make this observation like years ago, maybe? It's not,
I didn't
This isn't your first rodeo in Texas.
I didn't know that it was across the board with all cookies. I just thought they had maybe different names. I was unaware of the bakeries, perhaps, because last night after dinner, I said to my father-in-law, I said, Mike, want to break open those Thin Mints and have a little Thin Mints and maybe have a drink or a coffee or something? And he's like, yeah, Rich, that sounds good. We open up the Thin Mints, and I'm like,
Rich.
Well, I'll tell you, I really love Savannah Smiles. Rich was like, Rich knows the cookie. Yeah.
What? And I'm thinking to myself, what are these? These chocolate cookies with like ridges around the outside with dots all over them? Like, this isn't a Thin Mint. These are not what this is. So there you go. Little Thin Mint action.
I gotta tell you, Savannah Smiles really fills me up.
Man,
What,
I'll
Mike?
tell you, when I'm feeling lonely and, especially when wifey's gone, I'll tell you, Rich, nothing like, little Savannah Smiles to put a smile on my face. Rich is like, what are they talking about? What?
Caramel Delights.
Rich is on Pornhub.
Savannah? Rich was Googling Savannah Smiles. Rich was on OnlyFans looking for Savannah Smiles. No, I'm talking about the cookie, Rich. What were you thinking?
Hey, by the way, did you? I feel like. And by the way, please don't take this as a criticism.
Is it on me?
No, Covino.
Okay. Good.
I feel like your daughter never did Girl Scouts or any like selling stuff for like sports or teams or anything like that. Like not yet, at least, right? Like you never got her involved in Girl Scouts or like soccer or softball or anything like that, right?
It's not a criticism. She's not into that shit. I mean, you can't criticize me if she's not into it.
No, I'm just saying. So like because I see all these kids and I'm like, I guess those days are coming where I'm going to be standing outside of Cabela's selling Girl Scout cookies with Emmy,
Yeah, no, I mean, she does other things.
And then there's my niece who does like everything.
Yeah.
Girl Scouts, dance,
Girl Scouts,
like Emmy, like
sports, softball, soccer, everything.
I mean, I'm sure Melody's done fundraisers for like dance studios and things like that, but yeah, no, nothing like that. I mean, but neither did any one of my sisters or any of that stuff.
By the way, Rich,
I never had a sister.
So
I got
what's
3
normal
sisters.
to you? It's normal to you.
They've never been a brownie. They've never been a Girl Scout. It was just brought to my attention recently, and I said it on this show when we were on Sirius XM. I just saw a picture for the first time in my life of my dad dressed as a Boy Scout. I'm like, Dad, you were a Boy Scout? Cub Scout? Whatever. I don't know. And he's like, yeah, hey, woo. I'm like, you never told me that ever. Not once.
Well, I think about it.
I never did any of that. My sisters never did anything like that. My brother never did anything like that, so I'm not really surprised by that.
No, so I'm saying when you don't do it, you have no instinct to do it for your kids. Like my brother-in-law.
I mean, if she was into it, I would. But
my brother-in-law has my nephew signed up for 0 sports, and I'm like, yo, he's like a fucking 10-year-old boy.
How do you know the kid is into that whatsoever?
But the kid doesn't know what to.
I'd be super stoked if Melody was into softball. Or
a kid doesn't know what they're into, which is why you sign them up, and then if they don't like it, they could quit if they give it a chance.
Well, how do you know they didn't do that? I signed up Melody for certain things. She just didn't
Melody
like
played
it.
softball.
Not softball. She doesn't like it. She went to soccer. Didn't like it.
When did Melody play soccer?
I don't know. She did. She didn't like it.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like my
when she was like
my nephew
4 or 5. I don't know.
I'm saying my nephew it was never signed up for any sports, and it's because his dad's not into sports. So there's a part of me that's like, his dad's not into sports. So
you say like you don't mean to criticize, and I take that respectfully, but you're very judgy about shit like that, and it comes across, and I can hear it.
Oh, it's the first fight.
No, it is. He's very judgy. Good. You sound a little judgy. But I'm not being sensitive.
Like Judge Judy or Judge Wapner or Judge Reinhold or Aaron Judge. Which judge?
I'm just saying. You sound.
I'm not being judgy. I'm just saying.
And not even about me, about your brother-in-law and shit. Oh, no. Like maybe the kid doesn't like fucking softball.
How do you know? How do you know if the kid doesn't like it? If you don't let him try it,
the kid becomes their own kid. You know what they like. You really sound ignorant.
5 years old, they know what they want.
Yeah, you sound ignorant. You do sign them up for things. I'm not denying that, and you let them figure it out. But
if they don't like it,
you know it's in a kid's wheelhouse or not. You know what they're into or they're not. Why don't you send Ben to fucking a cooking class? How do you know he's not into
I would if he could.
Or no.
Oh, by the way, if my kid doesn't like it, they don't have to keep doing it. No kid wants to take piano lessons or guitar lessons or anything like that. But you know what? You sign them up, and then if they like it, they stick with it. And if after a little while they gave it a shot and they don't like it, then they're allowed to quit.
That. You know your kid is either musically inclined or not. You know if they're into it or they're not. Yeah, and yes, I agree with you. You send them to that. But, I sent my kid to piano lessons. She didn't like it. So that's where it ends. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying you don't do that. But I feel like you're a little judgy about kids that aren't playing sports or doing what you think is normal to them. Like, no one in my family ever did Girl Scouts. You find that weird. That's just my normal, So you could hear the judgy in your voice, even though you're saying it's not a criticism. You wouldn't have presented it in that way if it wasn't.
Well, all right, maybe
not
it is a
everyone
criticism.
Does that stuff. Not why? Because what's normal for you, what might be right for you, may not be right for some. That's just how it is.
I forced my boys. I forced my kids at an early age to try every sport.
That's fine. I mean, forced them's a little weird, but okay.
And no, it's not because they don't have the ability to make decisions. They're a child.
Forcing your kid, I would say that's an unpopular sentiment.
No, it's not.
Forcing your kid to play some shit that he doesn't want to play.
Okay.
I'd say so. I would never.
Is your 5-year-old going to say, "Hey, Dad, sign me up for basketball"? He doesn't fucking know that there's basketball, so you have to do it.
No one forced me to do anything. I fucking signed up myself for soccer. I said, "Mom, I want to play soccer." I said, "Yo, guys, I'm 10 years old. Can I join Little League?" I did it on my own because I knew this was
you're the fucking greatest guy on earth.
It's the truth. No one forced me to do anything. Maybe I am.
Insane.
Maybe
you're
I
insane.
am. Maybe I am. No one forced me to do anything ever.
How the fuck would my daughter know to sign up for dance class or soccer class?
Because they have friends
or soccer
and they
lessons.
have a brain and they're into things. I'm not saying you don't encourage your kid. You absolutely, you could encourage them down a certain direction. You could encourage them to do these things. And then you see what they're inclined to do and what they're into or not.
I played sports as a kid because my parents signed me up for it, and I ended up loving it. And if I didn't love it, then I would have stopped. But I wasn't going to be like, "Hey, Mom, can you sign me up for a Little League?" That's what a parent does.
Just because you're a pea brain and don't have a mind of your own doesn't make it
You're an idiot.
right for me. No one ever signed me up. Really?
The dumbest statement you've ever said.
How's it dumb when it's the truth? No one
ever signed me up.
No one ever signed me up
Listen to yourself.
Okay. Listen to myself what? About my truth? You know my truth. No one ever signed me up for anything. I chose the things that I wanted to sign myself up for.
Yeah. You were like, "Mom, sign me up for baseball when you're 5. You're right.
Yeah,
you're 5 years old, and you're like, "Mom."
Just because you were picking your nose and eating it, and you still do, doesn't mean that that's not the truth. It's the truth.
You're the greatest kid of all time. I wish I would have met you 20 years younger. I would have known the greatest kid ever.
You wouldn't be the Goonberger you are right now. I can tell you that.
Oh, this is fucking great.
But it's the truth.
I mean, yeah, hold on. Here. Yeah, you know what? Emmy's going to come up to me and be like,
yes,
"Hey, Dad,
because she's going to have her
forms.
own brain.
Here's the forms for Little League."
Yes.
Yeah, can you sign them, Dad?
Because all the kids in school are doing it. You think I forced Melody into dance class? The little kids in her class are all like getting flyers and pamphlets, and they're all doing it. And so they're talking about like, "Yeah, we're in dance class." And then a kid comes home and they're like, "Yeah, I like to dance. Hey, I think I might want to do this." And then you encourage them, or you could suggest it, and you could see. I'm not saying you don't sort of push them in a direction. Yeah, you could do that too. But you have an understanding of what your kids' talents and interests are. You just aren't giving them a chance to because she's little. She's 3. Yeah, she'll figure it out. Yes, she will. I signed myself up. No one told me to sign up for Little League. I brought a fucking flyer home, and I said, Mom, I want to join the team. That's the truth. I ain't making that shit up. P-brain.
Yo, life ain't fucking Cobra Kai. Kids around town are not being like, I want to sign up for karate. Your parents sign kids up for shit.
I'm not saying they don't. Did I ever once say they don't? I never
You
said
might
they
be
do.
the one. You might be the one greatest kid, Covino, because I guarantee of people listening right now.
Maybe I was. I'll take that.
I would say 9 out of 10 people right now listening.
I'll take
Their
that.
parents signed them up for shit and they liked it or didn't like it. No kid says, hey, Mom, I'm 4 and I want piano lessons. The mom or dad says,
no
hey,
shit.
why don't we?
I did that. And then you know if your kid likes it or not. I mean, who didn't do that? You know, who said that that's not the case? Who said that's not the case? Nobody. But you're very judgy when a kid doesn't do what Rich thinks what normal is. I could see it. I could feel it. You were saying it about your brother-in-law. I didn't even take anything personal. I didn't take it. I took it when you're talking about your brother-in-law. It came across that way.
My daughter is going to be 4 years old in 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
You think
she'll tell you she wants to take dance lessons eventually?
You think
she's not her own brain?
You think that she'll be
You
aware?
think kids don't have their own brain? They do.
You think she'll be like, Mom,
Yeah.
Dad,
100%.
sign me up for soccer.
Well, if she's anything like her blockhead of a dad, if she's a chip off the old blockhead, maybe not. But if she's like her mom, yeah, she'll have her own interests. And she'll be like, yo, I want to cheerlead. And she's not going to need you to tell her what to do because she's going to be her own person. I don't think you grasp that in your pea brain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
You have a pea brain.
Yeah.
Hey,
You got
Spot,
peas on your head.
your nieces and nephew, they signed up for all their own stuff, right? It's not like your aunt, it's not like your brother and sister-in-law said, hey, let's get the kids involved, right?
They get to a point. You think Melody was like, Dad, I want to take piano classes. I put her in piano classes. I put her into art class. But you have an understanding of what they're into. I sent her to soccer practice. She didn't like it. That's just how it is.
Yeah, like
she had no interest.
I did the scouts for a while, and I got to a certain point, and then camping was involved, and I was a completely different person back then. Like I've pulled the complete.
You were more of a
180
glamper.
I was very reserved as a child, very shy. I hated outdoors. I still can't poop in outhouses, and I just going on camping trips. Were miserable. Now I love it. Now I fucking love cabins and tents and all that shit. But back then, I hated it. I hated the elements, and it got to a certain point where I'm like, I can't. Like I'm not progressing in the scouts.
By the way, Steve,
and I'm like, it's lame. So I just stopped.
Steve Colvette is totally falling into the Rich sort of Tom Sawyer, flipping the script of the conversation to his advantage. That's horseshit. I never said you don't guide your kid and you don't encourage your kid or maybe sign them up for what you think they might like. I've never said that. But your kid will eventually, get themselves involved in what they want to do. And you can't force them to do things they don't want to do. You could take them there, but they're not going to want to do it. And if you're forcing them, you're going to get negative results. It's just how it is. We all played Little League with some little dipshit who shouldn't have been in the outfield, but his parents were forcing them.
And they learned something.
Yeah, they learned that they were fucking, goofy, and he probably should have been somewhere else. And it wasn't a happy moment for them. Yeah, they learned something, but back then it probably wasn't a lesson that they needed. I don't think so.
You're going against your complete theory of Little League now.
No. There were certain kids that sucked. There were certain kids that shouldn't have been there. There's a difference. Big time difference.
Not at all.
Yeah, completely.
Hey, by the way, Spot, can you look up unparenting?
Sure.
There's someone we know down here in Texas, like a coworker of someone we know that does this thing where they unparent their kids. And the whole theory of unparenting, I'm not saying you do this, so fucking keep your pants on. Or take them off. We have a video stream. Might get more people.
I'll take them off.
Unparenting, Spot, to the effect where they get this. Here's some of the things I've heard this family does.
It's on the screen in front of you, Rich.
All right, well, let's read some of these, but I'll tell you, let's see. They can come to an agreement if they have different opinions. Like you try to reason with your kid and be like, let's come to an agreement, little kid, instead of just being like, no, this is how we operate. Parents and kids are allies.
That's bullshit.
I mean, this is horseshit. What does that have to do with anything?
They accept each other without reservation and do not try to
what
push
does this
each
have
other.
to do with the price of bananas?
Both can
Hold
have
on.
what they need and remain authentically themselves.
I'll tell you
And
what it has
their-
to do with
and
anything,
their
Covino.
time together is not a constant struggle.
You prefaced this conversation with, "This is not a criticism," which automatically says that it could be taken as one.
I also
and you insinuated that my kid never did Girl Scout shit, so that must be weird because it could be a criticism. No one in my family has ever done any sort of Girl Scout shit. So is that weird? To you, it might be. To me, it is not.
And by the way, the unparenting thing, I made sure to say this has nothing to do with you. I shifted gear slightly.
Okay.
But unparenting, there's people that go to the extreme of what you're saying. You're saying like, yo, you know your kid, let them figure out. There's people that are like, hey, we made food. It's in the fridge. Hey, kid, eat whenever you feel like you want to eat. Or, hey, if you don't want, when you want to learn how to fucking read, I'm not going to read your books. You tell me, Mom, I want to learn how to read. There's people that have this unparenting approach of parenting where it's like unparenting,
That's
where
just dumb.
your
And
kid,
I never
you
said
don't
don't encourage your kid to try new things. I mean, I never said that once.
I'm just saying
that
there are people
you were also
that
saying
are people.
my parents forced me to do shit. They never forced me to do anything. Never, not once, ever.
There's people though that not only don't force their kids, they leave it all up to their kids, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna be the unparenting parents. Hey, whenever you want to go to sleep, that's when you go to sleep, little Gregors, because you get to choose your bedtime. What do you want to eat for dinner? If you really want to eat just cookies and mac and cheese, sure, little Gregors, because it's your choice." Like unparenting is a strategy that maniacs use, and I'm just saying that's the extreme of what you're saying.
No, it's not. But I completely agree with all the other shit you're talking about. So I'm on your team, and I do agree with the unparenting thing. That sounds like horseshit to me. But the other stuff is you not realizing that your kids are going to have their own brain, and they're going to make their own decisions before you know it. And they're going to have their own interests and likes and dislikes. No matter where you force them, it's not going to pan out the way Rich wants it to. And you can encourage your kid, and you could sign them up. There's no crime in that. I never said once that there was. But I listened closely, and I understood what my kid was into. And she was not into playing softball and things like that at all.
Now
you know,
people
with me on the front lawn, yeah, maybe. But as far as doing that in a competitive way, not even an ounce. And I'm a kid who grew up playing baseball. So I'm very aware of her wanting or not wanting to do that.
People that are agreeing with you are just getting it twisted, and I'll explain why.
No. You're twisting your words, man.
No.
You started this with there's something odd about a kid not doing those things. Just because, Rich and his family did that doesn't make it the normal way.
I agree. I stand by that statement. What I'm saying is people are getting it twisted when they're talking about ages. Let me explain. This guy hitting us up from 626.
I don't think he's getting it twisted. I think you're twisting your shit.
You don't even know what he said, so how do you know?
Yeah, tell me.
He starts talking about his kids who are 11 years old, and the minute he said that, 11 is way different than 4 or 5 years old. When you introduce kids to stuff, an 11-year-old can make up their opinion. Your daughter's 11. I'm talking about soccer, Little League,
my daughter is
Girl
11,
Scouts,
so maybe
Cub
I know,
Scouts.
maybe I understand a little something, and I know when they get to a certain age, it's a little past Emmys, but you're not that far off. She's going to tell you she don't want to do that shit. And you're going to be like, what? But I wanted you to play softball. You don't think I wanted my kid to play softball? But I accepted that she'd rather go to art class. That's cool with me. I don't care. So you were very critical to your brother-in-law about his son not playing sports. He knows that his son is not into sports.
His son is missing out on.
Then his son will eventually get to a point where he's like, hey, Dad, I want to join some sports if he wants to. Well, because he understands his son more than you understand his son. Maybe there's a chance of that. Or is that impossible because it's not what's normal for Rich? Because Rich played Little League. I think you're a little off. Yeah, you encourage kids. You could show them. You could lead them to way. You could lead them to water. But you're not going to make them drink.
You know the kid that was never involved in anything in school, like the girl that was never in dance class, the girl that didn't play soccer, the kid that never played Little League or PAL basketball or Pop Warner football. You know that little kid that was never involved in anything, right? They weren't in band. They didn't play an instrument. They didn't sing in the choir.
Looking back, I don't know
that
what
kid?
they were into. Maybe, yeah, there was the Jehovah's Witness kid. That kid? Yeah, I know that kid.
Yeah, but no, I'm saying the kid that was hardly involved in anything, meaning like, yeah, that kid isn't in sports. That kid's not in music.
It's usually like the foreign kid whose parents couldn't read the flyers.
It's usually kids whose parents are sort of like really uninvolved or not there. They're like, yeah, sure. Like, because if you don't have the ability to, because having your kid in sports and all these things involve commitment, right? How many parents listening right now are like, yeah, dude, my weekend consists of driving my kids to baseball practice, dance class, dance tournaments, and soccer, travel soccer. Like it's a commitment.
But there's nothing wrong with that. They have a type of kid that is into that shit. You know, I don't think.
But I'm saying
you can't force
9 out of 10. I'm going to say 9 out of 10 times that misfit kid that's not into sports, doesn't play an instrument,
misfit kid doesn't see what you're saying. I hate to shame on you. Misfit kid.
Yeah.
Just because he's not into sports doesn't mean he's a misfit kid.
Yeah, he is.
No.
If a kid is not
true.
into, I said.
And I'm a big sports fan.
I said sports and music. If a kid,
how do you know that kid's not home with a fucking electric guitar? He doesn't want to play the trumpet. You know what I mean? Like, are you serious?
If a kid is not into sports or music, and they don't do any extracurriculars as a little kid, it's because their parents have not introduced it. Because up until when the kid's your daughter's age, right? Let's make this very clear. Your daughter's 11. Yeah, she's like her own little woman now, dude. She's put on makeup, being like, "Dad, take a picture of me." She's a little. She's a preteen. I get it. Big difference.
She's been in the same art class and the same dance classes since she was like 4 or 5 years old. Since she's like 4 or 5.
So this doesn't apply to you. This doesn't apply to you. If your daughter didn't do art.
She's in something called she hasn't gone in a few years, but it's like girls club and things like that, you know? Like
so if she wasn't involved in any of that,
right,
then this applies to you. This doesn't apply to you.
I'm not saying it applies to me. I'm saying that I don't agree with you. I'm not saying it applies to me. What offended me the most is what you were saying about your nephew. You don't know what your kid's going to be into. You just don't. And you can force them all day. It doesn't mean they're going to be into it. I never saw my parents force anything on my siblings. Any of us, ever. We all had our own interests, and they encouraged them.
Anyone that says I'm off the mark is
I think
dumb.
you are off the mark, 100%. Like, and you think it's a misfit if Ben's not playing soccer and if Emmy's not in the Girl Scouts. Because that's what's normal to you. That shit was never a normal part of my life. Not one of my sisters did that. And I'm not saying you're odd if you did. I love the Girl Scouts. I think it's great. If Melody wanted to be in the Girl Scouts, I would be like super duper.
High spot. Jamie in Boston saying, can't wait till Emmy tells Rich she doesn't want to play sports. I wouldn't care. I just want her to be involved in something. And I also can't wait till she says the only dads that find me cool are white dads in Calabasas.
That's true, man. It's true. It's true.
I'm with Rich on this one. Put up a poll. See who's right.
Who cares?
Seriously? You guys just need to fuck.
I don't care. I'd like to know why your nephew is a misfit kid because he's not on the soccer team. Maybe he doesn't like soccer. Maybe his dad had to talk to him. Hey, you want to sign up for sports? You think his dad never brought that up once? Hey, you want to join like a club or something? You don't think that ever came up? Or is he the unparent?
All right. Well, you know what? I guess my daughter is going to grow up a hell of a lot in the next year for her to make all these own decisions on her own.
She will. She'll have her own brain, her own personality, her own likes and dislikes. And
which she does, but she's also 3.5.
Yeah. Well, she'll get there. She will. You know, Melody was in all sorts of music classes and little kid things when she was 3 and 4 too. She doesn't do those things anymore. She did all sorts of things at 3 and 4 that I would bring her to that she no longer does.
Kids who go through unparenting end up doing things like joining Antifa. Let's say
Rich
unparenting would not involve ignoring teaching life skills.
But Rich brought this from your kid not doing what you think is normal or what you want them to do to unparenting. Like, what did unparenting have to do with any of this shit? Just because they're not doing what you find to be normal doesn't mean like you're unparenting, not even like in the ballpark. Like, listen to your kid. Actually, you know what? Gary Vaynerchuk went on this whole rant the other day. He's like,
how many kids does he
your
have?
Kid. He goes, I don't care if my kid's an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. Listen to your kid. Let them do what they're meant to do, not what you think is normal for them because it was normal for you. That's one of the biggest mistakes in parenting. Listen to your kid. I'm not saying you're a bad parent by any means, but you're forcing your kid to do shit that they don't want to do?
I haven't forced my kid to do anything, but I'm going to introduce them to everything. And if they don't like it, they don't have to do it. But you have to introduce them.
I'm quoting. You know who I'm quoting? You.
I signed my boys up at 5 for sports, even though they didn't ask. If I would have waited, they would be way behind in their skill set.
That's fine. Nothing's wrong with that. I never said not to do that.
That's from
I'm
Drew.
just saying that no one ever signed me up. I asked my parents to sign me up. Hey guys, I want to do this.
By the way, if you want to try phone calls, I have an idea.
Yeah, let's try. Why not?
We're
learning this together.
All right, I think I have an idea. I know. Okay, so we have our number, right?
Yeah.
Which is in the upper corner of your screen. That's our text number. It also receives phone calls. It's a Google Voice number.
Okay.
If you text that number saying, I want to say something, call me, I can go through and then just call people, and then we can put them on the air rather than them flooding us with phone calls. How do you feel about that?
You could call them?
Yeah.
That's fascinating. Them. Okay.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? I think we want to try that for today. I just came up with that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sorry.
I mean,
I didn't mean to do it on the fly.
If someone has something specific they want to say, like Becky Stork says, "What's up, Baxter? Wait till Emmy wants to pick out her own outfits. Mine started fighting with me over that at 4 years old. If they have the abilities to say, no, I don't want to wear the trolls. I want to wear Elsa at 4.
She does that all the time.
Well, then what do you think? She's not going to be like, no, Dad, I don't like soccer. I want to do this.
Yeah, but if she doesn't know, isn't it your job to introduce?
I want to do cooking. Yes,
Okay.
it is your job. I never once go back. Never once did I say you don't encourage your kid to try new things. Never once. Been there, done that, did everything. And you have a quick understanding of what they're into and what they're not. Because they show interests in certain things. That's what makes them them and not you. And it's a tough pill to swallow sometimes because you as a parent want them to live a similar life that you lived because it worked for you or you felt good about it or you had fond memories. But that shit they don't care about. You know, so you got to encourage what they're into. And you could encourage them or try to introduce them to other things. But at the end of the day, they're just not going to be into it. More so than ever, kids are more independent and they're smart thinkers.
All right, I'm going to sit back and just eat this bunk Thin Mint. Spot, you want to try a phone call?
Yeah. Is this Austin?
Yes, it is.
Oh, what's up? Austin in Missouri.
Buddy. Austin,
Yeah, what's up,
Missouri.
man?
You're our first phone call on the Patreon. Better be a good one.
Fuck yeah, man. I was hoping. When I called Spot a sexy son of a bitch, I figured that would get me in first. So anyway, Rich, I think the main distinction here is that introducing your kids doesn't have to be in the form of signing them up. You know, you can watch sports with them. You can watch dance.
Right. Great.
My kid a couple years ago came home and was like, hey, I want to do Boy Scouts because, you know, someone came to their school, obviously before COVID happened, and was like, hey, this is what we do in Boy Scouts. This is, you know, whatever. And all his friends were talking about it, and they all wanted to do it. And, of course, I'm not, you know, I'm not, you know, a Spot or an Ian Kennedy that's out there with the lumberjack, you know, whole deal going on. But
who is?
I was like, oh, fuck me, man. Now I got to deal with Scouts. But that's how he found out.
Yeah,
that's
why I was saying the age makes a big play there. You're right. When he's in school, I'm saying when your kids are significantly younger, it's your job to introduce because they're not going to have influences other than you.
Introduce 100%. You're saying like sign up for certain things. He made such a great point, and I agree with that 1,000% of, you know, you don't need to. I didn't need to sign my kid up for softball to understand that she had zero interest in it. Did I want her to have that camaraderie and those friendships and to be competitive in that way? Yes, of course, I still do, right? But I don't even think my sisters got involved until like maybe like 11 years old at stuff like that. Like right where Melody's at right now. And if she says, hey, Dad, I want to get involved, maybe even for the social aspects of her girlfriends or her little friends are all on that team, then I'm like, I'll be the first in line to be like, let's go. Let's take some ground balls. But she already expressed in life to me that there's no interest there because I've introduced that to her, not by signing her up for some club or some team, by playing with her at home. There's no interest there.
All right.
Okay.
So that works. So you can text me now if you want to.
Noise.
If you're dying to say something, text Spot, and he'll decide if you get through. Spot will be the gatekeeper.
Yeah.
The gates are open.
Good luck.
Kids around, exactly. Jake Benjamin, I agree with Jake 100%. Kids around your kid will help in influencing them in a great way. So my hope is, hey, Dad's really not encouraging Melody enough or influencing Melody enough to want to play softball. But if her best little buddies are all of a sudden like softball kids, yeah, that would be great. But you know what? These kids are more into like fucking doing dance moves and shit like that. That's just what they're into and playing Roblox and things like that. So, if that's what's interesting her right now, all I can do is encourage. I can't force. Kids are going to have their own brain, their own personalities.
Whew. I'm exhausted.
Don't be.
Here's where I would normally say, let's take a break, but there are no breaks. My daughter is, like I said, is 3.5. You know where her decisions are right now? Her decisions are what snack to bring her class on snack day. And today she brought, for all our Texas friends, Shipley's Donuts. Because that's
you could force her to do whatever you want. In about a year or so, she'll be like, yeah, you'll know she wouldn't want to do that shit.
That says do nuts.
Do nuts.
By the way, shout out to Jacob Moultrie, Austin Arnold, KW Mike, Bree Miller, Crystal Bray, Mario Martins, Mike Durbin, Chili, what's up? Thank you, everybody, for all chiming in. It's the Covino and Rich Show on Patreon. Spot, any final thoughts on this?
No, you guys said it all. I don't want to get involved.
We exhausted it.
I'm good. I'll just stay here and flex.
I mean, I think it's very critical to think it is that every kid's supposed to be the same, and that you're quote unquote.
Oh no, never said the same. Said that
you did.
The parents
you
parents
said
need
they're
to be involved.
Misfits if they're not doing that. I'm quoting you.
If they're not doing any type of athletics or music or anything, that means no one's really at least give him a
so
nudge.
You're telling me your nephew does nothing at all?
No,
nothing. He just sits in a room all day
playing video games.
Okay, that's what he's into. What do you expect him to? What do you want him to do?
I don't know. Play a sport.
Well, he clearly doesn't,
take
he
guitar
clearly
lessons.
doesn't like sports. Yeah, his parents need to encourage him to do that.
Right.
I agree. But the biggest mistake you can make is to expect them to do what you did, or expect them to like what you like. They're their own people, and they're half of somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So
can't argue that.
You're so checked out. Oh man.
Woo.
I mean, you brought it up.
Know what I watched last night while you were watching The Bachelor?
My Los Lonely fans on Instagram.
What's up?
Los Lonely fans?
Lonely fans? No. I watched 5 minutes of it and I was like, I feel weird watching you. I watched 2 things on Netflix. And I feel like one of them is so dumb, but I feel like it's so right up your alley. Because it's like it's so funny, it's so stupid funny, but Sarah was like, this is like so stupid and bad. I'm like, no, it's fantastic. And I was like, I just gotta watch it with Covino. Have you ever seen Brian Regan's, not his stand-up, he almost does like a Chappelle show type of show?
I don't know. I've watched all his stand-up specials, so I don't know how I missed it.
It was from 2018, and I think it might have only lasted 1 season, but they have it on Netflix now. So Brian Regan will do a bit where he's like, yeah, don't you hate when you go to restaurants and they sit you like way close to the people next to you where you're almost in their conversations? And then all of a sudden it goes to a skit where it's like a skit of people sitting too close to each other at a restaurant, where it's like, it's very Chappelle show. Like it's like Brian Regan's stand-up / sketch comedy. And if Covino, if you need something new and you feel like there's nothing new on TV, I want to know what you think of it because I watch it and I'm like so torn on whether or not it's hilarious or terrible.
I would check it out because I like Brian Regan, who's all great now. He's got a Leslie Nielsen sort of hairdo. And I loved his last special. I thought it was really funny. Stupid, but funny as hell. Yeah. And I could appreciate stupid humor, so I would definitely check that out. I guess I somehow missed it. Or maybe they just uploaded that recently to Netflix because of his new special.
They did.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know he had his own sketch comedy show. That being said, Chappelle's Show is back on Netflix. We talked about that a few weeks back because he got paid finally for it.
Hey, Spot, what is it called? Do you have it in front of you? Do you look up Brian Regan? What it's I think it's 2018, a sketch comedy show. It's like Here We Go with Brian Regan or something like that. And
let me find it.
It's definitely his attempt at doing something like a Chappelle show type of thing. Like I told you, it's a hybrid of stand-up comedy and skits, where it's not skits like Mad TV or SNL, just skits. It's like Covino, if I'm telling you a story, like, you know, when I don't know, there's that annoying person at work and they describe something, he's like, you know what? And then it just cuts to it.
Is it Stand Up and Away?
Stand Up and Away. Yeah, Stand Up and Away with Brian Regan. And it's pretty interesting. Is there a way to play the trailer, Spot, or no?
Blends his trademark observational stand-up with short sketches.
Let me see.
Yeah, it's
I do not want to be. Oh, sorry. Let me see if I can play the video. So
see if you can. I'm just kidding. Because it might be something to watch, Covino, because I know you're always looking for a new comedy. Yeah, here you go.
I do not want to be famous.
Line.
I know that sounds weird coming from someone who has cameras pointed at him.
I've got burgers. I've got hot dogs. I know, they're hot. They're hot. Hi, I'm a late-night infomercial pitch man.
Looks funny to me.
Every ironing board sounds like a witch being boiled in oil.
I mean, the trailer stinks, but it does look funny.
Yeah, I mean, you can stop it, Spot. It's just
okay, thanks.
They fought it in Waterloo.
It looks funny.
Sketch comedy combined, like I said, with stand-up. I think I'm so curious if you think it's a pile of shit or awesome. I can't wait to hear your
I'll check it out. I'll check it out for sure. I love stupid shit like that. I will totally watch that. That's something I can get on board for sure. So I'll watch that. Hey, Rich, I have to take. I have to do a nut adjustment.
Oh,
how do you do in the mirror? Which is just one of these.
Why?
All right, and I also have to take a Waz.
Oh,
I'm drinking coffee. So I do want to say this. We have a song, Rich, that we want to debut. If you listen to the intro of our show today, Handsome Gabe covered Wolf Mother for the intro. He did an instrumental of Wolf Mother. We appreciate it. But Handsome Gabe, an honorary member of Tickle Sack, our band, #1 in Canada, he and Sherry from New Jersey decided to make a song about our new adventures. So I figure we play that real quick while I adjust my nuts. And yeah, you want to hear it or no?
I do want to hear. What are you gonna? What video are you gonna show while we playing it, Spotty? Your flex cam or just me awkwardly like listening to a song?
Let's see. I could play you awkwardly listening to a song. That'd be kind of funny.
Okay.
I can I'll play the actual video for Toto Africa. How about that?
Whatever you want, Spot. Let's hear the song from Handsome Gabe.
I don't know,
and
Rich.
Sherry,
I haven't really planned this out. Sorry.
All right. Put yourself on the flex cam. And just
we kind of planned it out. We talked about it earlier that we were going to play this song.
Ready?
All right. Yeah.
Be right back.
Okay.
Handsome Gabe, everybody.
Can't wait. Let's hear this.
Even though they're leaving satellite, doesn't mean the end of making fun of the rich for not seeing titties. Steve's still coming to scratch his thighs, and Spotty's so ripped that no shirt with sleeves could ever contain him. Won't even stop for Loogie Guy, and even have some bonus content like art lessons with melody. Ooh. I hear the coronation say, "Don't worry, boys, we're waiting here for you."
This visual is the best.
I love this.
Take a lot to take us away from you. There's nothing that a switch will satellite could ever do.
good.
That was great.
Thank you. That's Handsome
so
Gabe
good.
and Sherry
that's
from New
fantastic.
Jersey. They're parody
CNR
of
on
Africa.
Patreon.
I love it. CNR on Patreon. Thank you. Thank you.
Can we
the
talk
number one
about my
show,
dad for a second, real quick?
Absolutely. But we're the number one show in the Vato community. You know why?
Why? Oh, why?
Because they thought they were signing up for Patron. Yeah, órale, órale, Patron. Sí, señor. Hi, 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 hi.
I'm gonna have to pull up.
Now,
Thanks,
my
guys.
dad.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
It's funny you say Patron. By the way,
Good-
Spot, why
good
did
talk,
my
Russ.
headphones just get
Good
really
talk.
low?
What?
My headphones just got really low. Did you change a level or something?
Nope. Did I?
No?
No. Hello. Oh, maybe. Check. Oh yeah, something just happened. Weird.
Yeah, you got really low.
Weird.
My dad can't say Patreon. Tried to get him on the app last night. I don't even know if he's listening today. And he kept calling, he kept saying, like you just said, he kept trying to say something Patron related. He's like, Patronion. Like Patreon. He's like, Patron.
Órale, love Covino and Rich on the Patron.
So, Greg, just if my dad's watching or listening, Patreon, like a patron, Patreon. But yeah, I'll download the Patronian app. Patron.
I'm not surprised. That's slowly happening to you, as you forget shit that you watched last night. You know what I mean? Like you are falling into that same sort of thing. It's a real thing. It's a real thing where you're so consumed with life and real things that you're forgetting mundane things. It's like when your mom, like my mom, for example, who was really caught up in mom life, couldn't remember our own names. Steven, Tommy, Donnie, Gracie, Jen, Don, Donnie, Steven. That's what happens. That's happening to you. So your dad's already been there. It's not important. Pay to listen to you. I did it.
Patreon.
And I've been there. And who knows if I'll be there again. Jeez Louise.
Jeez.
Rich, I have a simpler question about life.
Yeah, I don't
Please
know.
do.
Oh, wait. Okay. Oh, we're back. Okay, we're back. Whew. Don't know what happened. Sorry there.
What happened, Spot? Were people hearing us or no?
People were hearing us. We were just really low. I don't know what happened. I think the song, maybe it was loud and beefy.
Compressed it
and F something up. But we're back in action.
All right, cool.
Okay, good. Because I'll tell you what. I was just trying to hear Covino so terribly. Like, I was like, please, what is he saying?
Yeah, I didn't. By the way, I didn't change.
I know
anything.
I don't blame you.
It's a learning
process.
And I was trying to figure out the setting. I'm like, Bleh.
By the way, Spot, the fact that you're not an engineer or anything and you've figured out how to do all this in like a day is honestly super impressive to me.
Thank you.
It really is.
Hey, Rich, first of all, you know
Thanks.
what? Let's acknowledge the Flex Cam. Let's acknowledge Spot Daniel, the producer, for making this possible. Let's also acknowledge that this is a work in progress, guys, right? We're getting flooded with feedback. We're trying to figure it out as it comes in. We're still going to figure out our studio scenario. Like, it's not going to look like this forever. Our Spot's got handy dandy cool graphics. Like, Spot, show everybody the cool like floor runners, our rusty floor runners that we got as a background graphic here, as a little.
What do you mean?
Show,
This?
yeah, look at that.
Oh, look at that. It's rusty.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Look at that rusty tire mark, whatever that is.
Yeah, we do the show from a body shop.
By the way, Rich, speaking of manly shit, you never told us why you really went to Cabela's.
For Girl Scout cookies.
No, for real. Is that really why?
No, my father-in-law went there and I had to pick him up.
Oh, okay.
What was he getting?
Rich, I want to know if you could pull up.
It's probably some manly shit.
Yeah, pull up the Carl's page, the Covino and Rich listeners page. See if they have anything good to say. And
probably not.
We appreciate you guys, Ian Kennedy and the Carls. On the in-show thread, Covino and Rich listeners on Facebook, we salute you. Thank you guys for all the feedback. I read the in-show thread all the time, by the way, after the show. That's like, how did everybody enjoy it? Maybe you could check that out like you normally do and see some of that feedback. And I'll tell you, or I'll ask you guys a question. Look, man, I don't have all the answers.
I got to say what's up to Chris Albanus, who started he started his own thread. It's Steve Covino is the greatest kid of all time. Changed my mind.
He's right. I'm not going to argue that. He's right. I hit 27 Little League home runs because I wanted to, not because my dad made me.
Yeah, it's not about making you, but I'm not getting back into that.
I mean, you said force. You said these are your words. You can't change the conversation now.
Oh,
you already said it. I mean, that's what you said. Listen back. You're like drinking like a frame. You need to force your kid. That's what you said.
I think you did, but
maybe
not to continue with it, to try it.
I'm just telling you.
If your kid says, "Oh, I don't like green beans," do you say, "Okay, that's fine. I guess you'll never eat green beans," or do you say, "No, you're gonna eat green beans, and if you realize after a while, like, yeah, I really don't like them, then we'll figure out something else."
I think you're in for a ravishing rude awakening if you think you're gonna force Ben to eat green beans all the time. See what happens.
Okay.
All right.
Now
talk to me in 5 years when Ben throws his green beans at you. All right.
So wait, hold on. Let me throw one more thing real quick on Netflix, and then we'll move on. Spot, I watched episode 1 of a show that your wife and I were talking about, and I think I don't know if your wife was sold on it. It's not a show Covino would even give a chance, but Firefly Lane.
Oh yeah, my wife got through 10 minutes of it.
That's where Spot lives. You see them all in the background right there?
Yeah, Firefly Lane.
Yeah, see? He's familiar with them.
My wife, so she's like, I watched 10 minutes of it and I had to turn it off. It was a piece of garbage.
It sounds like horse shit, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, what makes it sound like horseshit, Covino? Honestly,
Doesn't sound like some shit I would care about at all.
But like, based on what?
Just sounds like it. I've heard rumblings. I've heard rumblings, you know.
I mean, but honestly, what, the name of a street is what?
Yeah, I could get a vibe of a show just by the title. Like Downton Abbey. I don't want to watch it. Sounds boring. Thank you.
Downton Abbey was actually pretty interesting.
Doesn't mean I was going to say, it doesn't mean I'm right. I'm just saying that's what it tells me.
I hate to admit it, but like my wife, she binge watched Downton Abbey. And every so often, because it was like, what, 5 seasons? It was a bunch of seasons. And I'm just every so often sit and watch it with her, and I'm like, this is kind of interesting.
Yeah, Handmaid's Tale.
I mean,
I'm sure it's a great show. The look of it, the sound of it, everything bores me.
They're like snooty British people, but it's kind of
Yeah, but did you think you were gonna like the Queen's Gambit?
Nope.
Oh, that's a good one.
Pleasantly surprised. No,
yeah, that's a good one.
100%.
You can't judge a show or a movie by its title.
I agree. I said not always right, but you know, most of the time I am.
But I watched
That's why I
episode
love
1.
The Queen's Gambit. I was so pleasantly surprised by that.
I'm not sure if I'm going to keep watching it. You know, after because I certainly didn't hype it up. I'm just saying I watched episode 1. I really think Sarah Chalke is great. I love her as an actress. Katherine Heigl, she's been on our show. I like her. She's sweet. My question is the whole concept of the show. I like how it jumps from time to time when they were kids, when they were younger, now when they're adults. Here's the question, though. Katherine Heigl's character grows up to become like some type of Oprah type, almost like an Ellen DeGeneres. Like every woman loves her. Like she's essentially like a fictional Oprah, right? Sarah Chalke became like, you know, a mom who's trying to get back into the work world, but they're best friends with drama involved. Do you think people... I mean, what do you think it would feel like to have your best friend from childhood become an A-lister? I'm not talking someone that's successful. I'm not talking about someone that's on the radio or TV or even playing professional sports. I'm talking like A-lister. Like, what if your childhood best friend is Patrick Mahomes? What if your childhood best friend is, I don't know, Jen Aniston? Or, hey, you know who my best friend growing up was? Yeah, Michael Jordan. Like, if your best friend growing up ends up being like internationally known, what do you think that feels like?
I mean, that's a...
Yeah, how do all your friends feel?
Yeah, you'd have to talk to my friend Barnando, see how he...
Yeah, how does Barnando feel?
I don't know. He's like, bro, I always knew you were awesome, bro.
No, but like your friends think it's cool. Your friends think it's kind of cool that like, yeah, my buddy Covino's on the radio. That's kind of cool.
I have a handful of friends that even listen. You don't give a shit.
I'm saying we have friends that think it's kind of cool that you're on the radio or you've been on television and stuff, and that's like small potatoes. I'm saying
A-lister's different. Yeah,
I'm not talking some, you know, you're on television, ESPN, Sirius XM, FM radio, like, you know, doing potatoes. A podcast. Like, I'm talking if you grew up and it's like, yo, guess who my best buddy was growing up?
That's something, Rich, that only those people know about. I mean, could relate to. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a scenario that they should be in some sort of group together.
There should be a show about it, to be honest. If you ask me, like, I feel like I want to produce that show.
I'm John, and I'm the best friend of an A-list superstar. So I got to play the tambourine and second fiddle to this guy in life and in public all the time.
Yeah, like,
there's only something
is there a show there
that they know about? Yeah, of course. I think so. That's got to be a weird thing to be in their shadow all the time when really you're on an equal level playing field as
with
people.
Them.
Yeah, with them.
Yeah, because like in the show Firefly Lane, of course, Tully, the character that's Katherine Heigl, who's essentially, like I said, an Oprah type. She's just sitting there having a glass of wine, bullshit with her childhood best friend. Meanwhile, the world is in awe of her, like the same way someone would react if they met fucking Oprah, right? So,
Oprah.
If you grew up there might be a show there, like childhood besties. Like
they should be in counseling together. Is what I was trying to say. They really
like
should.
Spot. Who's the like?
I bet you there's a group. I bet you there's like an online group of where the celebrity bestie, because only they can relate to each other and what they have to deal with.
Like who is like who in your mind is like top notch best, like biggest celebs in the world right now? Like, is there someone that's like, yeah, I'm Jennifer Lopez's best friend from the Bronx. Like when Jenny was Jenny from the Bronx, yeah, I'm like Maria from the Bronx.
I don't know. Does Tom Cruise have any friends? Or are they all in Scientology?
Yeah.
Tom Hanks. Who's Tom Hanks' childhood friend?
Yeah, does Tom Hanks have a childhood friend? Like, yeah, my name's
Jeff.
My name's Jeff. You know, me and Tom used to hang out all the time, and you know, I became Jeff, the insurance salesman, and he became fucking Tom Hanks. Like,
we're still good buds.
Yeah, we still go fishing, we still go golfing, but I mean, hey, it just
everybody
Tom
came from somewhere.
I know him as Tom Hanks, my buddy. You guys know him as Tom Hanks, international, global superstar.
On the flip side, that's why celebrities have celebrity friends, because it's only that other celebrity friend that can relate to what they are going through in life, you know? So, yeah, I think there is some sort of interest there for sure, intrigue there of what it's like to be that celebrity's regular friend from childhood. It must be odd to see, like, how they – but there must be a part of them, too. It's like, yeah, I always knew that was his thing, and, man, I would have never expected this, but that was always, you know, that was always George. You know, and now George Clooney's a big star.
Like, what if you grew up playing basketball with James Harden?
I did. I signed up for basketball on my own. My parents never forced me to do that.
I know.
Yeah,
what if you played basketball with James Harden and he always whooped your ass, and you're like, yeah, my buddy James, like, yo, he's just real good. And now it's like, yo, he's James Harden, and you're just like, yeah, my name's John. I'm just I work at Target.
John plays a part in Harden's story. He probably stuffed him a few times, made him better. You know, it's a weird scenario because I'm sure John has that story. Every superstar has that friend who schooled them at an early age, or, you know, rivaled them and challenged them, and they became greater as a result of it. LeBron is still boys with all his childhood friends.
Yeah, no, he does a lot in that world for sure.
And all those dudes, they used to ball with LeBron. So they helped him. They helped him become the person that he is today. So it's a very unique group of people. But you know, I guess when you're in that friendship, he's still LeBron. You know, but there is a lot that comes with that, being that friend, no doubt.
Entourage. This is from Joey in Colorado Springs saying it's based on Wahlberg. Dickie, Entourage is based on Mark Wahlberg. So that's a good show where that's sort of a storyline, you know, like,
yeah,
here's Mark Wahlberg growing up, and all his regular buddies become part of his crew, right?
Oh, that's interesting. It's interesting. It is.
Green Optimus.
I don't know,
Rich. Up saying, I've been gone from SXM for about a year and a half, and now I'm back with you guys, and I feel like I haven't missed a day.
Yo, you know, there's a few people who are back. Curtis and Callie, you know, who've been the fabric of the Covino and Rich listener base, you know, the air hedges of the world that we thought that, you know, they were still listening, but they dipped off, but now they're back. Now we got to get Armstrong back.
How do we do that?
Is that our goal?
Yeah, let's get him back. Let's get him back. A lot of people excited about the new platform and the new changes. So, hey, Green Optimist, I didn't realize you weren't listening, but now it all makes sense. I haven't heard from you in a long time. Welcome back to the show. It's going to be better than ever.
No way. This is people making observations now that we have the video stream.
Mm-hmm.
No way on earth Covino washed his hands after touching his balls, doing an adjustment, and taking a whiz.
Yeah, you did that way too quickly.
No, I did. I just. I'm
considering.
How thoroughly do I have to do that?
I'm considering, and I could probably set this up, but he would. I don't know, because he pees with the door open. I could probably put a camera in the bathroom.
You're gonna. Take
but like
that.
outside the bathroom, so I could see like what he does.
Hold on, that's fine.
Outside the bathroom.
That's fine. But you're gonna say
this is gonna be a thing.
When you yell at me every day for not only washing my hands but using the hand sanitizer that you have there.
Yeah, he does double wash.
Okay, so I do double.
He washes his hands, but then he comes out and he wastes my hand sanitizer after he's just washed his hands.
So if I'm that
so
guy,
at least he's very thorough.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to give him that.
There you go. It was a quick pee. It was a quick. How do you do? Let's see. Covino, do you let a 3-year-old eat whatever they want for dinner? No, they have their own brain. They would ask for ice cream every night. There comes a point where, again, you know what they're into and what they're not into, what they like and what they don't like. Yes, at 3, you're going to know. At 3, they might not want to eat that shit. It's right around that time. You could force them all day. They might not want it. Why don't you fucking give them a chicken mole? See if they want to eat it. The fuck? They might like it. They might not. That's how I see it. You can force them all day.
Dude, all right, man.
Let's see. Simple question. How the fuck do you, and we've addressed this 1,000 times, but I want to know if there's a real answer to this. If you live with somebody, could be your mom, could be your girlfriend, could be your wife. If you live with somebody who does nothing but make treats all day and like junk food,
yeah,
how the hell do you navigate these waters and live a healthy lifestyle?
This is like the question I asked last week.
No, but like,
how do you emotionally eat when you're on a strict diet?
These are things we bring up, but we never really figured out the answers to. Like, for example, I happen to be in a relationship with a girl whose hobby is to bake shit.
Oh, by the way, I have cookies for you. They're like pre-made cookies, but I saw them at the store and I thought Jordan would like them.
So yesterday I'm trying.
So I'm sending them home with you.
Are they? They're Savannah Smiles.
They're Savannah. No, they're.
I love her.
They're Pillsbury, like the pre-made cookies, but they're Lucky Charms ones. So they have like Lucky Charms marshmallows in them. Pretty good. I tasted one.
So I happen to date a person who loves to bake shit. Now, when I say loves to bake shit, I don't mean like every weekend. I mean like she tries to perfect macaroons. So this is like every night. Like, I don't know. I'm not getting it right.
Macaron.
Yeah, macarons.
Macaron.
And there's always some shit. Like, what are you doing now? I'm just making icing. Icing for what? I don't know. Like, I think she buys ingredients and they're about to expire, so she feels the need to just make shit constantly. I don't know. Every night is some shit she's making or trying or experimenting with or creating, right?
And I'll back
every
you
night
up because I remember Jordan made some treats for when the girls had their girls' night like a week ago.
Yeah.
And I guess her sample, what she didn't she initially made something but didn't want to bring that and left it for you to eat, essentially. So there's probably all these like samples and leftovers and things she's trying, and she just leaves them for you.
Well, a quick story.
Quick story.
I was going to your place, Rich, for like a holiday party, right? And Jordan had all these, what's it called? Like they're just sugar, crunchy, like sugar, fucking white. It's white, crunchy. Anyway,
candy canes?
No, fluffy white.
Fluffy, like cookies?
No, fluffy white. Sugar.
Oh, meringues.
Yeah,
I have. Those are gross.
She made meringues, right? But
Meringues
with different colors in them, like holiday colors, right? And they were in a plastic thing on the counter. And without thinking, I was like, oh, Jordan left these out for me to take to Rich's house for the holiday party, right? So I'm walking to your house. She's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm going to Rich's place. Oh, by the way, I brought those meringues you left, thank you. Those meringues weren't to bring the Rich's. Those were like I was experimenting, and they're not good. I'm like, I tried one. They're delicious. They're not for Rich's. Those were like, I was just experimenting with those. Don't bring those. Like, she was so particular about those. I was like, are you serious? She's like, don't. Seriously, don't. Those were not like to give out. Those, I was just messing around with those. And I was like, they're great. And I got so aggravated by it, I took them and I fucking threw them into a bush right by your house. Like the whole plastic bin of them, because she was
You went all
insisting.
crazy?
I went all crazy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So you did
I didn't bring 'em.
you
I
instead
showed
of bringing him to the party.
I showed up to your party with an empty container. I swear to God. True story.
Oh my God, you're a tyrant.
Yeah. Because I was like, what?
She gave me such a hard time.
I'm so proud of you. That's something I would do.
Yeah, I was so mad about it. Yeah, I'm like, nobody cares. Nobody cares. These are fantastic.
Right?
But that's her art in a way. So what I'm trying to...
you fucking crunchy white sugar things.
I pass that bush often, and I'm like, you know how many
there's some happy squirrels.
You know how many woodland creatures like these are fantastic. So
Jordan's like, don't eat those.
yeah, so
They're
I never
not
know
good.
what's
I'm
going
not
on.
proud of those.
And then I'm always like, what are you doing? What's going on? What are you making? And it's always, in front of the KitchenAid fucking thing, and she's always making some shit every night. So when your significant other's always making treats, like last night I tried to have a healthy day. I had my cocktail fruit. I had my little ginger beer with an extra pour of Tito's in there, a little squeeze of lime. And I'm trying to sort of have a healthy day for the most part. And she's busting out some sort of crepe treat with like a strudel sort of texture to it. It looked like a crepe, but it was kind of crispy and layery. Spot. I don't know what that is. It looked like a crepe, but over toasted crepe,
like a tortilla.
There's Nutella in it, strawberries.
It sounds like a crepe.
Yeah, but it was like crunchier than a crepe.
I mean, maybe she just overcooked it.
I don't know.
I don't know what to tell you.
So let me ask you this: when you're sitting around as a guy, and you're smelling nothing but delicious pastries and cookies being cooked all day, how the hell in the world are you not supposed to try that? When women, I think, are able to nibble like little bunnies, guys take bigger bites and more samples, and that's what brings you down.
You're going to slowly turn into Gabe Iglesias.
No, I mean, this has been going on for over 3 years. What is what's the solution here?
Well, let me tell you what the solution is. Because
Yeah.
as someone who loves to cook, loves to bake.
There's an easy answer, Spot.
Yeah,
What's
you
the
just
answer? What's
you
the
don't
answer? I
you
don't
don't
like it.
no.
All I
Here's the
smell
easy
is
answer.
chocolate chip cookies all
because
the time.
back when quarantine first started and everyone was making bread left and right and flour was sold out in stores and yeast was sold out, that's when I decided, like everyone else, to take up bread baking.
Yeah.
And I was making, you saw it, sourdough loaves. I made like 4 a weekend. I made focaccia bread. I made a coffee cake. I made crackers. I was making so much shit. And I was doing it because it was like a hobby and I was trying it out, but I was eating it at the same time. You know what the solution was since then, since I've become, FlexCam? Just don't make it. That's the solution.
I mean,
I killed my sourdough starter.
That's easy if you live by yourself.
I killed it.
No, it's. I mean, but I'm saying there's. It happens when you have kids too.
Yeah.
Because what happens
Well,
is
hold on. The big difference here, Rich, is the smell of that being cooked.
Yeah,
and
you just can't have it in your house.
The excitement of like, what is she doing? Oh man, there's cookies in the oven. Like as a guy, you're a savage, and you just want to and you want to be like, oh, and then they'll come to you and like, I want you to taste this. How does it taste? And I'm like, how does it taste? It tastes like I want 6 more of these bad boys.
Yeah, but it's I know you can't really make that change when you're living with someone like that. I get it, but the easiest solution is, don't have these things in your house. When you have kids, you realize that you have snacks and shit in your house that you're not used to having. Like, I probably didn't have goldfish or Ritz crackers for a decade of my life.
Yeah.
Right? I like, when was the last time I had fruit snacks, right? But if they're in your house and all of a sudden you're in the kitchen just looking around, you're like, I'll take a handful of goldfish, or I'll take like, it could be any little kid treat, like some puffs. You'll grab a handful of like little puffs, like, because
yeah, but that's not someone's hobby. You know what I mean? Like, and I get it. It's the same sort of thought process, but I could shut that cupboard. The biggest mistake there is, Rich, and I can tell you how to solve that problem, right? What would always happen when with Melody growing up is I'd give her a little bowl of whatever puffs she was eating, whatever sort of goldfish she had, whatever sort of cookie she was nibbling on. She would never really, she'd leave a few, right? So you'd have a bowl left over of some of that stuff, and what do you always do? You house it. You grab a handful and you finish it. It's your job as dad to finish it, and that shit adds up.
If she leaves a plate, leaves a lunch or dinner plate, and it's got 1 dino nugget and a scoop of mac and cheese left, you know what you're doing?
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's constant. That's 3 times a day probably. Yeah. Right? And you look forward to it, and you're a slob, and it adds up. But the solution to that is smaller portions that they'll finish, right? That way you won't be nibbling on that shit. Yeah, and we all make that mistake, but there is an answer. I can't tell Jordan
hey, you know your hobby of making shit all the time? Like a mad scientist? Yeah, I don't want you doing that anymore because I can't curb my my appetite. I can't control myself when you're making this peanut buttery delicious treat whatever with chocolate all over
I mean,
it.
ask her. Say, do you want your? I'm already older than you. Do you want me to be fat and older than you? Ask her that.
Huh.
That's true. But
Be
now,
like,
now you're
be like,
fat.
hey, be like, Jordan.
Now we're
Jordan,
full
look
circle.
at this crystal ball. Do you want a fat 50-year-old like boyfriend or husband in 5 years? Then fucking slow down.
No, I mean it's true, but you know, and she's like, well, control your appetite. I'm like, control yourself. Like, what? Control yourself?
No.
That's like, it's absurd. It's an absurd comment.
Yeah, yeah.
So you know what she does?
Like-
She'll bake a whole tray of like these new cookies, expects you to have like one, and then then you throw them all away at the end of the week. You're like, what the fuck is that about? Because you can't just make one.
Yeah, like Kristen, because she's not on the diet that I'm on.
Right.
So she'll make things, and I'll have like a spoonful here and there, but like there are certain things I'm like, we can't we can't have this. Like I can't make this. Like she'll make pizza. I'm like, you can't make pizza in front of me.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm having like half that pizza if you put it in front of me, and I'm like, I can't do this.
It's almost like
there go my macros
you know,
for the day.
If we're gonna live in this overly socially conscious world, right?
Sorry.
You wouldn't drink. Hold on, and I know this is a stretch. Believe me, I preface this by saying it's a stretch. But in a way,
what you want me to stretch?
You know how you don't like to necessarily drink so much in front of people who don't drink, especially when they're just getting out of that lifestyle,
Yeah.
right? It eventually gets to a point where that person he doesn't care, right? You do what you want. I get it. But when you're snacking in front of people that can't control themselves with the snacks, it's very similar. Because I'm like, yo, I know you can have just one. I cannot. I'm a savage. I can't nibble. I don't eat in little bowls like you do. Jordan eats in little ramekins. Like a little, like a little, like.
Oh.
And I'm like, I don't eat out of ramekins.
By the
I eat out
way.
of bowls because I'm a man.
Let me tell you. I got to give Spot credit because Spot introduced me to the ramekin life. Because when I lived with Spot,
this
for
is a
like,
ramekin
when
house.
You know what I eat out of ramekins? Carrots. Not, you know, and maybe a few nuts here and there. Portion control, I get it. Self-control is a whole different story.
Stop moving.
I'm just saying though, Spot introduced me to ramekins, and I gotta give him props because I was like, yo, what? You have all these little ramekins like you're a TGI Fridays.
I got them too.
Spot, like, yo, putting like a little tiny scoop of ice cream in a ramekin or something really sort of.
It helps. I do it all the time.
And
But
of course,
only
Rich
with
puts
certain
like
things.
30 spoonfuls in there. But that's
Jordan
okay.
eats her dinner and her treats out of ramekins. You know, so
Kristen does too.
Yeah, and you know where you get them too. A lot of times you buy desserts that come in those little clay ramekin sort of things. I mean, you could buy them, but I have a bunch of them.
Trying to find just the right picture of you in 5 years from now. I think I got one. You ready? I think this might.
Hold on. Let me give.
You know what? I'm gonna hang that on my fridge so Jordan can see it. and maybe the solution is make that shit when I'm not here. Because
Side by side. Let's see, right?
Yo,
Yeah,
I said it before, Rich, but if I see some tasty shit underneath
Jordan.
foil, if I see some shit in foil, it's screaming my name from the couch. I'm on the couch trying to ignore it like a drug fiend, and I'm like, "You crazy for this, Joe Rogan?" And I'm like, I'm hearing the whatever's under that foil, like, eat me, come get me,
come now.
The whole day. So I got to remind myself, you know, unless you want to date Yokozuna, you need to chill with that shit.
Well, it's the same goes for kids because like grandma, like Sarah's mom always wants to like bake with Emmy because it's like fun for a kid to like, oh, I want to make brownies or a cake or this, that. And I'm like, but you know who eats it all? I do. You know, it's like, I can't, if they make a tray of simple brownies, you think I'm going to have one little square? I end up taking like square after square after square. And by the time it's over.
And to wrap this up,
you know,
by the time it's over, you finish
the whole thing.
You ate the whole thing. Spot the other day, you know, as you guys remember, our final show on Sirius XM was Friday, and we didn't skip a motherfucking beat. Back here on Monday and Tuesday, kicking ass.
I mean, we could have taken like one day.
On the Patronium. Really, I love the ad. It got me a little bit of a struggle to get it working, but I love the Patri.
Petroleum.
Yeah.
By the way, on a side note.
Hold on.
On a side note, I called when I was telling my dad and walking him through it last night. I mean, I got to give him so much credit for being so supportive, but also for having the technology and really being up on shit. But when I was like, Dad, FaceTime me on your phone and then aim your phone at your iPad so I could see what you're doing.
Can you do that? That sounds like Inception.
And every time, anytime he was doing something, he would take his eye off the idea that he's showing me. So all of a sudden I'm like, Dad, I just see a bowl of bananas and oranges on your table. Aim the phone.
Every time I go to do something else, I lose the volume. But hey, if my parents could figure it out, you guys should be embarrassed.
By the way, he's gonna freak out during today's show during that volume dip. Really? The volume went down. What do I do?
Work in progress.
Work in progress.
Yeah. Hey, we took phone calls today. So, we're getting.
Oh yeah. If anyone wants,
we're gonna be.
I think that's a good method.
Yeah.
You text the show number, which is on the top of your screen.
Like, call me or.
And you just say, "I'd like to chime in," and I'll call you.
Chime in.
So it's like you're waiting.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then you know that it's coming from us.
It's fun. It's sort of like when you call a company or a bank and they're like, hey, we have a wait, but if you want, leave your number and we'll call you back in the order this call was received.
Right.
Yes.
That's how we do it, guys.
Do it.
Text us you want to chime in, and Spot will be the guy who gets
Let me
back
see if
to you
anyone
and
wants
puts
to
you
do
on
it
the
right
air.
now.
We'll do an experiment. Who wants to chime in and why? Let us know.
Hey, by the way,
412 the letter C in our show. 412-267-7469.
Do you feel like when they say, do you want to stick around afterwards for a customer satisfaction survey? Do you feel like if you say yes, they bump you in the line?
No, that's a farce.
I used to feel that way. Now I don't care. I'm like, fuck your survey.
Yeah, no, I was like, ooh, because maybe if I say I'll take the survey, they're like, ooh, we want to make sure he fills it out properly. So maybe I'll say yes.
Yeah, I know. That's the old scammeroo. So to wrap this up, here's what happens. On our last show, which was Friday, Sarah and Jordan were kind enough to present us with a cake. I shit blue for 3 days after that because it had blue icing in it. Mercer Man knows what I'm talking about. My shit was blue. And
what?
You didn't shit blue from eating that cake that they brought on Friday? Anyway, they brought us cake and champagne. And we, had a nice time. You can see this on Facebook, Covino and Rich. Our little end of a chapter celebration. That cake was left here at Spot's house, and it must have been calling his name because he had a freak out so much that he's like, Covino, if you want this cake, I need you to take it because I'm going to throw it away. He goes, wow. Yes. So, right, Spot? The cake?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's the only solution to this problem.
Because the cake was in front of me, and every time I went to the fridge to pull out my healthy prepared meals, my shredded chicken and my baked chicken and my salmon and my vegetables and all that shit, this box was just staring at me.
Yeah.
Staring at me.
And
you know what I would do?
It was in the fridge like this. Come on, Spotty. Remember we used to be best buds? It's the cake. You remember?
No.
We were best friends.
No, I don't want to. I don't want you.
Hey, I'm here in this box inside the fridge, asshole.
No, I don't need you anymore.
Put those carrots down, you puto.
No, I got muscles now.
Yeah, come on, man. This is the anniversary cake. Eat me
leave
now.
me alone.
Come on, you
I
slob.
got muscles now. Stop it.
You ain't fat. You ain't fat. You ain't nothing. You ain't nothing.
So the cake is fucking antagonizing Spot so much that he calls me like almost in a panic. He's like, "Hey, come take this cake."
Yeah, I honestly, because every time because I mainline coffee throughout the entire day. Every time I would have a cup of coffee, I'm like, oh, coffee and cake, and I would go in and I would trick myself, and I would go and I would just like do a tiny little sliver down the entire cake.
That doesn't work.
And it was like a little, so it equaled like a very tiny piece of cake because it was just a little
One
sliver down the
sliver
whole.
always ends up being
And I was just
a
like,
full-on portion.
Oh, just a taste, and I'm like rubbing it on my tongue.
Not for guys.
I'm
Women
like,
can do
I
that.
just want to feel it.
Nope. So, Rich,
can't
the
handle
only
that.
solution is to dish that shit off and throw it away. Otherwise, you got to find yourself a new significant other who lives a similar lifestyle as you and eats
By the way,
eats like a bunny.
I wanted it out so much, and I'm like, Covino, come get it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, bro, I'm nearby. I'm like, oh, I'm out for a walk. I guess you could come back tomorrow. He's like, I'm like, but if you want, I'll let you in the house, and I'll unlock my front door remotely. So I unlocked it remotely. I'm like, just go in and get it. Just go in, take it, and be done. He
That's
came in
amazing.
my house.
You couldn't
took
be
it, left.
trusted.
I can't. I can't have the temptation around me.
I got it out of Spot's house, so, and now I'm looking at it every day like, fuck, this cake. But I wanted to get it because, Melody wanted some, and it was the weekend. I was like, yeah, let's just, we don't want it to go to waste. But, man, it's really tough, guys. It's really tough, especially if you live with that type of person that loves to make and bake shit like that. And, more power to you. Throw it away. Get rid of it. Lock yourself up. I don't know what the answer is, and I just got to tell you that once again because last night is just one of those nights where I tried to be healthy, and right at the end of the night, some shit's pulling my nostrils over to the kitchen like Pepe Le Pew. The end.
Well, hey, fun time today.
Well, you want to take one phone call or no?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
Did you
People
want to do
want to
that?
chime in that way. Go ahead.
I thought you were doing that, Spot.
Oh, let me see if anyone texted me.
Just to see
sorry.
how the system works.
Just to test the system.
Let's see.
412-267-7469.
No one's texting me. Everyone's just like texting.
Oh no, maybe people are just scared to chime in.
I think
That's
people
cool.
are scared. It's
I don't blame
new.
them.
It's new territory.
Right. I don't blame them. We had Austin today. We're gonna have some of you tomorrow. We could welcome guests on this show, but again, what we need more than ever is for you to get a friend involved, and hey, maybe that makes your friendship grow. Get a relative involved, have them subscribe, and we plan on giving back, okay? We plan on killing some time with you and making this better than ever. So thank you guys for everything. And thank you, Carls. We're going to read the Covino and Rich listener pages after the show. And it really never ends. The most interactive show on radio, not even on radio, in your living room. On
Most
whatever
interactive show on Earth.
On Earth at Covino, Covino, and Rich.
All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, have a great Tuesday. Arrivederci, baby.
See you in the promised land.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Bye.